Alright, I'm back. Let me just... How we doing? How we holding up? Sorry about taking a little bit longer. I realized I haven't eaten since breakfast, so I should have a snack, so I had a quick snack. Um, Now we are going to go on to Heaven Will Be Mine. We have only done one run of this so far. Um, but it was fucking great. Because we got the MF ending last time as Saturn. So we have the CM and the CG endings from here. Also the Pluto and LUNA-TERA routes. Oh, right. I forget every time that this has its own launcher. But, like, that's fucking awesome. That's rad. Alright, so... Okay, I was gonna say, I don't know where that's gonna resume me from. We'll do LUNA-TERA this time. Oh, I didn't... Hang on. I wanted to read... I wanted to read her bio. We can't swipe right on someone without reading their bio. Fuck! Okay, that's just me being stupid. Look. Look, if I'm not having tech issues, stream will have scuff for reasons that are specific to me as the host. LUNA-TERA, Faction, Memorial Foundation, Self-Ship, Mercrisium, Memorial Foundation, Ace Pilot, fighting for the pilots to join the rest of humanity back on Earth before it's too late. Good at sniping, espionage, double-crossing, and ghosting. Bad at loving herself and everything else. Love the little character bios and the UI details. Yeah! What if Char Aznable took estrogen and progesterone? Char would be way hotter. From the Division of Existential Safety, Conflict-Enabled Ship Self-Archetype Model, First Flight, July 16th, 1969. Place of manufacture, Sea of Crises, Earth's moon. Our hope for a throne of the soul, for the Memorial Foundation International Space Program and all humanity. Until no one is forgotten, and all are remembered. Registering pilot. Welcome, pilot first class LUNA-TERA. Case in point, LUNA-TERA. Error. Multiple maintenance issues and critical errors detected. Okay, here's the thing. Char has my favorite moment in all of Gundam, and that's up there with, like, the fucking full-on sucker punch in Witch from Mercury and the first look at the Gundam in Battle Tales of Flanagan Moon, which I think might still be going on. And if it's not, ooh, I haven't read the ending. I wonder how it ends. Blameless on the misfortune of your birth. I love that one. I also love just the straight up, full on. I forgot this game is very loud. Oh, that's why it's very loud. The fucking... And that's still pretty loud, right? But, like, that's bearable at my regular speaking volume. Worst girls volume control moment. Here's the funny part. It's actually Windows' fault. This happened after I updated Windows. There's also a moment that the first time I saw it, I don't remember which Gundam it was in. I think it was in one of the movies that was adapting Double Out 79. Where I think it's Char talking to, like, his dad or some shit. And the older guy, is talking about World War II and talks about all the shit the Axis did. And the kid is like, I will show you the power of this Hitler. Which is just an out-of-pocket line to hear ever. But it's fucking double whammied with, but son, Hitler lost, as he has already left the room. Literally the funniest shit I have ever seen in a completely serious anime. Knocked me on my ass laughing. Because I was not expecting I will show you the power of this Hitler, but I was especially not after the door is closed. I was not prepared for, but son, Hitler lost. Like, Gundam, what the fuck? You crazy, Gundam. Notice, launch permissions are locked until addressed. From the Division of List Errors, Maintenance Errors, there's a possible sensor failure. Several limb connections are not registering. No weapons are loaded. Critical errors. Mass Alert 1, healing failure on critical area near core, possible bleed. Mass Alert 2, tidal core is resonating at levels harmful to the pilot. Ready manual firmware update. Running. Upgrades detected. Syncing. Accepted manual internal mechanism firmware update. Switched ammunition to conceptual mode. The fuck does that mean? Custom sensors loaded. Dynamic limb optimization loaded. 1981.1.7 weapon loadout drivers loaded. Details. Mass Alert 1. I bleed too. Recording derived from the data burned 4-dimensionally into the wound. Suffered by this unit almost 1 year ago. Wound self-generated by forced overloading, tearing the core open during sustained conflict in the Mars-Ares regression campaign. Ammunition is conceptual now. Are we fucking Destiny? Are we shooting Glimmer? This is when you'll learn Bedlam was once a Destiny player. And every couple of years, we'll boot up Destiny and get even more sad every time. I'm a couple years clean. I get reminded that Bungie consistently makes really good feeling shooters. And it is literally everything else about Destiny now. Either way, all critical systems have naturally healed, yet the wound continues to bleed into space. Fuel efficiency lowered, healing speed reduced, and tidal reactor speed cannot be regulated, leading to possibility of overload and increased pilot strain. It is strongly recommended that you seek the assistance of a full maintenance team. A lack of understanding of the full effects of gravitational conflict on the human gestalt means that this computer cannot provide adequate instruction of therapeutic measures. We're shooting straight ideas in this VN. I believe it. Permanently disable Mass Alert 1. Really ignore? Yes. Provide reason. I can handle it. Automatic scan alerts show that this may not be a very good reason. Would you like to provide another? No. Mass Alert 1 deleted or disabled. Details Mass Alert 2. Tidal reactor has an unauthorized modification that is causing an unsustainable chain reaction. Notice, this ship is not equipped to handle prolonged operation at this capacity. Notice, increasing short-term output may cause long-term failures. Notice, loss of gravitational stability can cause fracturing and instability in pilot. Permanently disable Mass Alert 2. This Mass Alert cannot be disabled by pilot authorization. MF key code. Alert disabled. For record-keeping purposes, please input the reason. I'm fine. Ship's elf Mare Crisium is in spacefaring condition. You are cleared to launch. Disable launcher OS and engage catapult. All controls given to pilot. There's a message for you. Cancel. Refused. This message will be automatically played. Europa. Letting you know to keep this as my letting you keep this as my gift to you, LUNA-TERA. Your favorite and loosest leash. Prove me you've earned not to or learned not to choke on it. LUNA-TERA is so I'm fine. I vibe with her. Incoming message. Standing orders updated. If it's that urgent, it's too late. If it's not too late, it can wait. Let me enjoy the view of the rings. They are beautiful. Even though there's only so long you can watch them before the sight of the 6 planets' rings become as boring as a blue sky, Mericrisium sensors render them in every detail, using every sense as perfectly as she always has. You're really getting old, aren't ya? Both me and you. I should probably listen to Control and throw you out and get a new one. But that doesn't seem right. You're only supposed to get one buddy. Even if I hadn't been very good to you, I could never throw you out. She is, in fact, just like me. In fact, cousin? We're all we've got. The Mericrisium is the test type model. It was made as a proof of concept. It isn't the first vessel made to grant humans locomotion and life in space, but it is the first to allow for outward expression. That's just V2. Or sorry, that's just V1. In all kinds of ways. It can do so many things, and they gave it devices for everything because they hadn't estimated how powerful tidal engines would become, or what sorts of things humans would really want to do in space. It's the first machine meant for conflict, but it's also the last machine. But it's also the last machine that was meant for other things, too. A ceremonial tin soldier made to impress. An impossible-to-use machine, mind machine, or biofeedback interfacing is necessary to give humans control over a second body, but the Mericrisium is done completely manually. It makes LUNA-TERA sort of a genius and sort of an idiot that she can't do things any other way. I'm having so much fun. Hard to believe it's going to be over so soon. No, I love it when old things are over and new things begin. Open the channel. Let's hear those standing orders. It's January 1st, 1980, and the long and cold war where humanity united against its nemesis, an existential threat from beyond the stars, had been over for a long time. Since the 50s, we have been fighting a war against an existential threat that we cannot understand, cannot perceive, and is powerless against the technology of Earth. That's a pretty stupid sort of war to fight, isn't it? Where there's only enough mess down there to worry about? When there's enough of a mess down here to worry about? Humanity is already an undisputed authority of reality, and we have the physics to prove it. It's time to return to Earth, our home, the seat of the universe. Before Earth takes us back in pieces, let's go home with grace. In the first anniversary of the decommissioning of the International Space Program, we, Memorial Foundation Native Sphere Existential Safety, in agreement with our home planet's unanimous decision, declare, there is no future for humanity in space. Let's come home. The Return Resolution, Memorial Foundation Native Sphere Existential Safety. It's January 1st, 1981. It's been 1 year since we've declared independence for Memorial Foundation and the rest of Earth. The Cold War is officially over. And it feels so light without the gravity weighing us down. How can a tiny handful of colonies, terraformers, and schools hold out against the full authority of Earth? Because that shit doesn't fly past escape velocity. To power the ship's elves we made to fight the Cold War, we made tidal resonators to bring the gravity necessary for humans and culture to survive in space, and that gravity is ours now, enough to make a new world, free from the weight of Earth. If Memorial Foundation wants to kill the future, they'll have to come and take it from us. We are thankful for our Cradle's graces, but we are not coming back. Independence Declaration from Cradle's Graces. It is January 25th, 1981. Memorial Foundation and the Cradle's Graces have been having fun for a little over a year, and nothing is breaking the stalemate. Earth is getting impatient. They have good reason to believe that the existential threat posed by by a divided humanity in space is much greater than any theoretically malevolent entity outside the native sphere. While the kids are fighting, Earth is getting ready to list the humans remaining in space as part of the existential threat, and when they do, they'll send real weapons and end this war fought with plastic toys. Their justification? We are technically less than 100% humans, just not human enough to be something else. It's hard to believe they're really on to us. It's time to make a Sorry, I have a sneeze coming on. It's time to make a drastic move. Bring our final piece, the prototype ship's elf string of pearls we made in the atmosphere of planet Cronus, which will never be Saturn, to the lunar gravity well, where Memorial Foundation and Cradle's Graces are already headed. Whoever controls that place controls human access to space. We can be sure everything will be in place there. Earth or space, we are just short of 100% human. So let's see how much more, or how much less than 100% we can get. Internal report, Celestial Mechanics. Okay, so we've got Joyride Killjoy, weaving in and out of the Six Planets Rings. Memorial Foundation's ace, LUNA-TERA, plays cat and mouse with the renegade ship thief Saturn. And Retrograde in Retrograde. Chasing after the string of pearls, LUNA-TERA and Pluto find each other instead. It's been almost a year since they last saw each other, and LUNA-TERA has never seen Pluto like this. You ready to spin backwards? Give me 2 seconds. Hang on. Okay, I guess it wasn't important. Subject, just come and get me. Origin, combat communication packet. Author, error. Oh, you think you're so cool, don't you? Well, watch your back, 'cause I'm coming for you. You think that number 1 position's gonna last? Not a chance. In fact, why don't we have a little duel about it? And if you're not too scared, come meet me in the shadow of Olympia Mons, and I'll make sure that this time you're the one left splattered and helpless and pinned to the side of the mountain, and not me, like the last 9 times. Also, would it kill you to, like, stick around for a bit longer, you smug jerk? Not that I'm planning on losing. This time I'm gonna beat you. Just come and get me as 100% from Mars. I'm sure you'll love Mars when you get to meet her. I hope so. Cold War Ace reports. LUNA-TERA. Origin. First generation pilot research declassification. Author. Memorial Foundation Existential Safety. She was unremarkable. I did not remember her at first. We took any of those who wanted badly to live in space and did not fit on Earth. In retrospect, we were asking for a rather unique quality, and it is not just a coincidence that she was there. The pilots had to be young adults and pass a physical, and not care what space might do to their body. It is not so surprising that someone like her would emerge from that pool of people, but the woman you know today has been iterated on since she was an adolescent. Be assured, I saw nothing of promise in her when I first met her. I told her that myself, as I told all the students. I am uninterested in your potential. We are judged by the self we create. I find that encourages brats not to take their specialness so seriously. That was not LUNA-TERA's problem. Piece by piece, she created someone very interesting to me. We gave those children permission, and LUNA-TERA was simply unique in her execution. She was never encouraged, she was never punished, and we will never find children prodigy like LUNA-TERA by looking for tidally sensitive children, because they do not exist. We do not find them pre-made. They must create themselves. Was this not the dream of the Memorial Foundation space program? Yeah, Lieutenant's rude as fuck. A justification for return. Memorial Foundation Declaration of Intent. Author, Generation Emissary Halamede. Earth is not the sphere of our home planet. It is not the physical body which is called Terra, the home of life. It is not measured in mass or by its gravity, its position in the universe. Earth is us. We measure Earth by culture. We are Earth. Humanity, the particles of its mass, and by our gravity is its body. And by our gravity, its body is formed. By our diversity and multiplicity, Earth exists, the living miracle of humanity's shared power, insignificant unless we are joined. This international space program with representatives all across Earth represents our commitment to peace, that humanity will never seek to destroy itself, that humanity has the right to eternal life, invincible bodies, and unrestricted movement in space as humanity expands beyond this sphere. As extensions to the universal human rights of life, culture, and freedom, to protect the growth and sanctity of all culture, ensure a future for humanity, and the defeat of our enemy. On this day, we inaugurate the International Memorial Foundation Space Program. And comms time! Europa, Director of Combat Operations, Memorial Foundation, Existential Safety, not your mom. So you really have betrayed us, haven't you? Wait. Ooh, I do like this. I've never betrayed anyone in my entire life. Huh. But seriously, whose side are you on right now? It sounds so accusatory to put it like that. You know I'm fine with you being on whoever's side you choose, so I can destroy them and drive you back to me. This may end up being a lot of people. What, you don't think I'm up for it? Don't worry yourself about that part, kitten. If you want me to defect back, you could always just ask. Oh, sweet Curl, I am not interested in you coming back so you can walk away again. How many times did Halamede fall for that? Shouldn't count as tricking her if she knew it was coming every time. Stop it. I hate when you're modest. It's so beneath you. Give her at least the dignity of a subtle seduction. I would've. That's not what she wanted. She really ought to think about her reputation more. And what more is there to say about the trail of messes you leave? But my disappointment in you both is total. My adorable failures. What am I to do with you? Pilot first class, don't send me messages. I like that. They have such a normal relationship. What does it mean when your ex's aunt refers to you as kitten? Don't worry about it. Sorry, your ex's aunt, who is also your superior officer. Don't worry about it. You should go easy on her. I live to spoil her. Make no mistake that everything she deserves will be visited on you. I wouldn't dream of not letting you have that. You have to know by how aware I am that you want... Oh, fuck. Dyslexia, hello. I wouldn't dream of not letting you have that. You have to know by now how aware I am of what you want and deserve. You're so good to me, Europa. I don't deserve it. When I double-cross you again, be sure to really let me have it. I hope you do. But I take no chances with loyalty. Halamede merely hopes that you will change. I think it's charming that even you believe that might have some effect on you. I know much better than you, kitten. I won't let you return no matter how much you beg, until you have no other choice. When you can't pivot or run away... when you can't pivot or run or trick your way through. When you can't second guess or lie. It's the only way to change that nature of yours. Channel closed. I like her. There's at least one fanfic involving LUNA-TERA in Europa's office. I believe it! Also, if you want to send me a Twitch Whisper with a link to that. I only know of it secondhand because I know someone who's very normal about LUNA-TERA and Europa. Yeah, I should read more. It'll be good for me. Alright, retrograde in retrograde. Oh. Oh, I was using the wrong voice for you. Let me see if I still have it in me. What's going on? You've been pestering me with orders, so what's the sudden holdup? Central said to launch immediately. We have to get to the Celestial Mechanics Lab regardless of whether or not the prototype's already gone. There's valuable information there, but it's worthless if Cradle's Graces gets you there first. Have some patience, LUNA-TERA. The Cradle's Graces carrier just launched a completely unknown ship self. This can't be right. Person can't pilot a ship that big. The tidal resonance would tear the pilot apart. Is this impossible? I hope. Never seen anything like it. No, you can't fight it, LUNA-TERA, so don't even think about it. Any better ideas? Must be headed for where the prototype launched, right? Where else? Hang on. Need to take a sip. Woo! Because they have to know that it already escaped. Don't underestimate your opponents, LUNA-TERA. Scavenging the lab might be useful anyway. We should have gone there for information if nothing else. Even against an unknown and objectively stronger enemy? What makes you so sure, LUNA-TERA? No particular reason. Or a single particular reason. Still don't trust me? Don't insult your former instructor, LUNA-TERA. I know how much to trust you before you betrayed us to Cradle's Graces. My opinion hasn't changed because we welcomed you back into the fold. My best pilot and worst student. You've never been You've never been predictable except in your consistency for trouble. But it's a reliable metric. You're right. You know me. So if you're worried, don't have to let me have free reign like this. Since you were a kid from your earliest academy days, you've never been able to look in my eyes and lie. You only got away with anything by keeping your mouth shut. Very unlike Pluto, the hope of Cradle's Graces. She could lie right to my face with a smile if she thought it was for the best. Pluto exceeded the wildest expectations of the pilot program, so much so that it was decommissioned in part because of her. If Celestial Mechanics have successfully built a monster that can withstand her, this engagement will end in disaster. Bondage gear is a mandatory component for Memorial Foundation uniform? Yes! Also, unbuttoned military uniform is my personal around town aesthetic. It goes hard. I might... Also, I'm gonna be real. I hate this haircut on men. I see so many, like, older guys try to pull it off and they just can't. Older women, though? Or any woman, really? This hairstyle works so much better on, like, kind of butchy women. Like, it's not even funny. Now I wonder if it's gonna take, like, older women to make those fucking Gen Z perms look good. They don't. They really don't. And that's the most boomer-ass thing that you're ever gonna hear me say. Because I don't like talking about the youth these days. No, I like to engage the future. I like to be like, hell yeah, the future generation. And, like, hype them up a bit, but, like, that hairstyle looks like shit. And that is much more terrifying than this machine you're so eager to fight. That concerns me far more than you betraying us, or fighting a battle you can't possibly win. I don't think any of you really understood what you were doing. Pluto's unreal. She's far more overwhelming than any of you understood. If that ship's unworthy of Pluto, it's gonna be torn apart under the pressure of her, not the other way around. Pluto is the only real human being. No wonder she feels so alien when she looks at us. You want me to let you take an impossibly dangerous mission because you think you can save our enemy. What can I say to that? Maybe she can teach you the lesson I can't. Like waking up underwater, to the wet burn of your lungs' desperation for air. Like floating untethered in space, unable to move under your own power. Losing the security of gravity is like being naked in space. Gravity is necessary for human life in space. Gravity is necessary for unrestricted movement in space. Can't have one without the other. The force that binds your existence together. The force to shape foreign bodies. Pure agency. Gravity is necessary not just to live in space, but to be human in space. But being human is a little harder for Pluto. She has to work for it. The tidal forces of her spacefaring body, the Krunmakla, are as strong as she believes and as weak as she feels. And LUNA-TERA needs to make sure all the calculations are in order. Everything in her ship operates manually. She's just been at it long enough that it feels like a second skin. The jolt of nostalgia interrupts LUNA-TERA's mental math. She forgets to carry the one. It interrupts Pluto's focus, and she has a moment where she's not invincible. Close enough to touch the surface of the moon lab, LUNA-TERA is seen and known by Pluto, and they're suddenly falling down the well of too late and nothing you can do. I knew it. Warning, gravitational interference. It's important to get a grip, knowing that there's nothing that you can do is something Pluto considers freeing, and LUNA-TERA considers exciting. Feeling doomed is clear permission to do whatever. Ooh, I like that effect. Also, she's so fucking real. As soon as Mercurium is through the cloud cover, she fires solid light into the remains of the Celestial Mechanics lab and chases it through the wound. The lab was recently damaged by the illegal launch of a hijacked ship, but that damage is barely noticeable compared to the massive hole left by a much, much larger ship crashing through. Gee, I wonder where the hijacked ship comes from. LUNA-TERA acts fast under pressure. If there's no point in hiding, there's no point in stopping. It's true, LUNA-TERA is living on the whim of Krunmakla, which she can probably do whatever to her. It's true, LUNA-TERA is living on the whim of Krunmakla, which can probably do whatever to her at any time. If she can't run away, she wants to make the first move. It's the sort of thing that makes a lot of sense if you think about it, and no sense at all. If you think a little more, anyways. But that's not LUNA-TERA. But that's LUNA-TERA, isn't it? She's betting you'll think too much, or not enough. Europa assures us it's part of the regulations. Mm-hmm. How you doing, Sarah? Always Pluto. Is that really such a good idea? She's someone who always thinks just enough, which makes it easy for LUNA-TERA to slip through, deep into the lab, until it gets quiet, except for the sounds of the moon quaking and trembling. Eepy, perpetually, I fucking feel you. I might have repaired my sleep schedule, and like, oh my god, if I can wake up before noon tomorrow, I'm gonna... buy some scratch-offs, I guess. After almost a year, the dread and the thrill is way too much to slow down and start talking. That's what the arrow flying to Pluto's gravity well is saying. Who will make the first move? When LUNA-TERA punctures the last armor layer and opens up the terminal cavern, light spills out and screaming sound, because the Krunmakla is peeling the lab and most of the moon inside out. With the forces of its own tides. It's not something that's impossible or anything. It's just something that's only possible in theory, which is still terrifying. More terrifying. And more terrifying than that power is Pluto's finesse. And more terrifying than the finesse is her gentleness, spooling matter like threads in the tiny galaxy of which she is the sun. Her power is very kind, but it's also a little perverse. What meaning does mercy have from something that can core out a moon? Krunmakla's developers compared it to a black hole. They wanted a machine so powerful that even light couldn't escape it. LUNA-TERA understands now that was wrong. She's a star, gushing and twinkling with matter and light. Who wouldn't be swept up in all that? The Mercurium is so small. Pluto's never seen it from a perspective like the Krunmakla's before. She's never imagined it would look so fragile from here, like a toy version of the fierce fighter she remembered. Pluto's sense of scale is true. LUNA-TERA feels just like a plastic toy, too. Come on, say something. It's making me sad. It really does fit you. So much more than I ever thought. Is it hard to look away? Being able to render you speechless is the power I've always dreamed of. What do you think? I know just a look won't change your mind, but I want you to tell me. Tell you what? That I regret betraying you? Told you then that I always would. No, I won't let you say that, Luna-T. Do you think I'd be mad? I mean, of course I'm mad at you, but not for anything you did to me. I wouldn't ever be mad at you for not having enough faith in me to see through Cradle's Grace's dream of a new home for humans in space. I'm just mad at you for not having enough faith in yourself to see it through, and leaving all the work to me. Oops. Guess why that's why. Oops. I guess that is why I'm a little upset with you. Not mad, you know. Just disappointed. I can't believe I'm still the one scolding you like a kid. I'm trying to be a grown-up, you know. I did the responsible thing. I took the realistic option. I'm here to play the part of the boring adult, the grown-up villain. Oh, that's right. I remembered why I actually am mad at you. You better not go down quietly. You better really believe what you just said. I'll forgive you if you left us for something stupid, but I'll never forgive you if you left us for something you don't believe in. And you better not believe in it, because I won't forgive you for fighting for a future that cruel. That doesn't leave me a lot of options. I don't think I can fight against that. Don't you dare. I won't forgive that either. Were you hoping, maybe, that it wouldn't be like this? That I wouldn't have to fight? It'll change ya, in ways you don't understand. I've seen you fight so many times. I saw you get that scar and your poor ship got her wound. Has anyone ever seen that side of you as much as me? I don't think so. Not even Europa. But it's different when you're on the other side. You think I really don't know? Because I've never actually stared down the barrel of your rifle or felt that knife nick my ship? It's a different kind of knowing. Teach me then. Or I'll teach you. You know what? LUNA-TERA gets schooled. Cradle's Graces advances. As soon as Pluto blinks, that's the moment Mayor Chrysium attacks, a little out of fear, mostly out of awe. It's a confused move, the first move, which is so unlike her that it nearly takes Krunmakla by surprise. All matter parts along the vectors of inertia that Pluto has set, but these bullets stubbornly curve, bury into her flank and sting with a sharp and subtle gravity of their own. Ow! That kind of stings, Luna-T. Stop doing things like that. LUNA-TERA is crushed instantly and she's dead. No, LUNA-TERA dodged at the last second. No, the Mayor Chrysium is torn apart from every joint. No, LUNA-TERA is safe at home. She never left. No, LUNA-TERA hasn't moved and it's only because she can't bring herself to. LUNA-TERA is feeling ghosts of the space-times that Pluto has cut off. Escape routes she rushed for but don't exist. LUNA-TERA is trying to think of something to say. She really is, but it's impossible. Because Krunmakla is the size of the universe. Her seeping nebula grows with the promise to swallow up the space station and LUNA-TERA and the whole solar system. That's not the way, Luna-T. You have to come to you have to come for me like you really mean it. Or that's what's gonna happen. The Mayor Chrysium's engines spin to no response. LUNA-TERA's mind is racing, but there's no thought she can hold on to. Girls love coming for Pluto, I bet. It's funny when people choose LUNA-TERA as their first playthrough and is crushed instantly and she's dead. It fucking rules. Especially when you don't know the stakes of these battles. Like, you're more likely to die because of your ship and less because you were in battle. And that's fascinating to me. Except for how disappointed and sad Pluto is. If you give me just one moment, You'll pass my event horizon, and you'll never escape. Always getting closer, but never getting there. Falling forever. If you don't figure out how to unstick yourself, I might leave you there. Remember for next time, okay? Don't keep breaking my heart. The Mercursium plummets and the Chronomaclo rises up, exiting the moon like a shooting star, tearing the lab into space with her. So that's day one. Immediately, first generation pilot candidate interviews. Origin were leaked data packets from the space program intake archives. Mm. Mm. I guess it's water time again. Hang on. Why do you want to go to space? I want a new start. In what sense? To get rid of this weight. We are required to make it clear that the purpose of this program is not to leave Earth, but to expand it. The weight will follow you. But will it weigh differently? Please explain what you mean about what you said previously. About what? What do you mean when you say you don't want to be me? I don't know how else to say it. Isn't it obvious? Who would want to be this? I don't understand what you I don't understand what you see that is wrong with you. I do. Are you saying that you, as you are, the person who you are, don't want to be you? Yeah. Then you aren't that person. But that person weighs on me. So you would like to have the weight of being this other person. That you are not. You would like that removed. Yes, please. That may be possible. I love this. I have felt this. This is, there's a whole song about this. That is, I Don't Want to Be You Anymore by Billie Eilish. Which, I don't care that she's a top 40 hit. That girl's got some fucking pipes. Love her. Good energy. Subject, pilot program progress. Origin, Memorial Foundation Executive Committee Annual Report. Author, Training Director Europa. Charlotte Aznavour Reel. Yeah. The Cold War's looking bleak. The threat from space is more flimsy, translucent, and inscrutable. When once it was so strong with all that all humanity feared it, existential threats on Earth are more pernicious than ever, and the Scouts are not keeping up. The Scouts, you say? The same Scouts? And the Scouts are not keeping up. It has become, ever since Double Out 79 in my heart. I want to rewatch Double Out 79. Maybe we might do anime nights in the Discord if y'all are really interested. But we have to watch David Lynch's Dune. Because when he passed away, I put up a poll about what David Lynch movie we should watch next. And it was like Mulholland Drive, Eraserhead, Dune, and I don't remember what I set the fourth one as. I know that it wasn't Firewalk with me because that requires Twin Peaks knowledge, and I want people to be able to, like, you know, the same Scouts. Interesting. It has become difficult to argue against the possibility that the scouting program has done more harm than good, and that goes just as much, if not more so, for the pilot program. Historically, death has always invited the enemy here in its greatest strength. Humans can't resist killing each other long enough to protect themselves from the existential threat. It is easy to make this argument, but we had little success with it. No matter how celebrated the slogan is, and no matter how many governments and leaders profess to live by it, the simple fact remains: the existential threat can never be as powerful as we are. Humans will always pose a greater threat for other humans than the existential threats will. It will always be It will always pose a greater threat to other humans than the existential threats will. It will always be easier for humanity to eliminate the threat by killing their own than by fighting the threat directly. While we have offered children and the unwanted to fight the existential threat with existential intent. Oh shit, thank you to Researcher Pie for becoming a regular. Welcome to the cabaret. Hope you enjoy your stay. While we have offered children and the unwanted to fight the existential threat with existential intent, humanity has turned its gaze inward rather than to the heavens. Not even strong enough to pierce the atmosphere without burning, the existential threat can no longer be labeled as such. For these programs, we accept the decision to decommission the Memorial Foundation space program. Excited to be out in the field again, doing important work? We're a long way from anything important out here. Can't help but notice. You think Command wants you as far away from them as they can get you? What makes you think that? That you said it? That Command is my ex, and that I did once double-cross Memorial Foundation? In that case, you should be happy that you're in the field at all, and not in a brig or in the process of being, shipped back to Earth. Well, I am. I'm so thankful I don't need to be lied to about my work being important. Oh, I would never lie about a thing like that. In fact, the most lovely sixth planet in our solar system, Cronus, has become extremely busy in the past 24 hours. Major leak out of the celestial mechanics has revealed they're finishing a prototype here, and Cradle's Graces knows about it too. Apparently the Hellion responsible for the leak has stolen it too. You're just the woman for the job. Reining in incorrigible pilots is your specialty. Let's see if that power can be used for good for once. Europa, please leave some for me left to fight the enemy. Don't shoot me down before the mission starts. Was I too mean? I'd prefer direct combat any day. Well, let me tell you something nice then. Cradle's Grace's superweapon, your favorite, has been spotted in the system. My favorite? What do you mean? Their comms end up feeling weirdly out of place because you just did one of the relevant missions. Yeah. Don't play dumb. You make the same face whenever Krunmakla is spotted. It's the biggest mystery of their side, and one of the only reasons Cradle's Graces hasn't collapsed by now. The Krunmakla's power is unreal, far stronger in reality than anything that could possibly have been projected from its original schematics. Its capabilities seem endless and impossible to predict or encounter. And who knows who the pilot is? The list of people who could pilot something like that is very short, however. Maybe it is someone you know? Hang on. I need to clean my glasses. Worried I might double-cross you again? I'm not with Cradle's Graces anymore for a reason. Oh, I never trust you when girls are involved. Good assumption. Joyride Killjoy, weaving in and out of 6 planets' rings, Memorial Foundation's ace LUNA-TERA plays cat and mouse with the renegade ship thief Saturn. Objective in sight, opening channel to base. Captain, I'm bored. Captain, this sucks. Well, you heard them, Europa. Tell those idiots to be careful what they wish for, because the mission parameters have changed. As you know, Celestial Mechanics has been operating a clandestine ship self-development lab and an experimental prototype, in violation of the terms of the Memorial Foundation Space Program Decommission Treaty. And we are on a top-secret surprise attack to take out the last operational shipyard and make sure we never have to find out what Celestial Mechanics has been planning to do with it. It couldn't be more obvious what happened, but go ahead and brief me anyway. No points for guessing. The prototype's already launched, rendering most of the base inoperable. We lost contact almost instantly. Find it before it leaves Cronus' gravitational field. Oh great. What a pain. Aren't you just bored? There's no way to find it. It's as good as gone. There's a chance that the ship's elf is still nearby, so get to work. Ugh. Yeah, this is... Bravo! Evade now! Huh? Take it to Red Violet TV for the raid. 2 seconds. Could we get a shout out right quick? I might have to do it manually, but either way. you doing, Tim? How was Plucky Squire? That's actually on my backlog. Uh, now. I've got nothing, Cap. Bubblegum pink electricity sparks off the ice and dust of the inner ring like a lightning bolt and through his ship self. He doesn't get even the slightest chance. Captain Mayday. Don't listen, you don't have any right to complain, right, Europa? What a callous attitude you have. Who'd you learn that from? The best. Preparing to engage. I wish Europa would stop sending me boys who can't control themselves. Have fun dismantling my escorts? With the string of pearls as fingers, Saturn carefully peels the mechanical musculature out of the poor ship's arm she's holding, a souvenir of the last of LUNA-TERA's escorts that she sent crying too easily back to their base. This looks really neat. It is a wonderful visual novel. It is a soft sequel to We Know the Devil, which is a really good visual novel. It's a really cute game, honestly. Good puzzles, good mini games, lovely art style. Oh, fuck yeah. By the way, Tim, I actually found a Flash game I really loved from when I was a youngin'. Uh, got all 3 games in the series ported to Steam a couple of years ago. And it's on sale for, like, under the price of a McDonald's meal. Fucking did not know that they made a Last Stand port for Steam. Super Stick RPG, did they also do one for that? McDonald's meals have gotten a lot more expensive. More the point. It's cheaper than food. It's still sparking and oozing, and Saturn wishes her ship had a mouth so she could suck it out like crab meat. Maybe it does have a mouth, like... Maybe it does have a mouth. The machine has many mysteries the manual does not explain, and Saturn is still learning them. So I suppose Europa has learned her lesson about sending me girls who can't control themselves. Oh, really? Hey, that's really interesting. Mind telling me more? Oh, she's a hacker, too. How amusing. There's nothing too interesting on this comm frequency. Oh, you flatter me. But hey, what did that mean exactly? The part about girls who can't control themselves? I really want to hear more. It means back up that talk first. Or, can you land a hit off the comms? LUNA-TERA's gravitational field focuses to a single point. LUNA-TERA isn't budging. She's been through much worse, and so is her ship, followed always by a thin trail from a bleeding wound she could never completely repair. The Mare Crisium is over 2 decades old, but Saturn couldn't even land a hit. It's regal and stiff, dressed in cold metallics, weathered and refurbished. The archetypical prototype for all other ship selves, still going on after all these years. Still furiously untouchable, the string of pearls hasn't gone down no matter how much she's been rammed with that spear. But she hasn't even nicked LUNA-TERA's ship once. Not bad at all for a joyride, but you can't get one hit in. Good thing you don't win by looking cool. No mercy for newbies? No. I hope the stream's going well. It is. How you doing, Pi? LUNA-TERA puts a stake of solid light through the string of pearl's leg, pins it to its own gauze wrapper. It doesn't hurt at all. The ship's metals begin molding and reforming around the wound immediately. A ridiculous, unfair advantage. Saturn has no right to complain, but she still wants to. But she's trying to be cool. Everyone wants to, when in the quiet gleam of that always bleeding ship. That's a pretty amazing ship. Think it'll last? Either you're fighting just for fun because you're that reckless, or you're caught up in your own containment wrapper and can't escape orbit yet. And you'd beat me for sure if I played around. I'm not done yet. That's not true. It's actually very difficult to move with a solid light bullet in your leg, but she's not going to let that stop her. Saturn's suddenly closer than she logically could be. Claws bubbling, but LUNA-TERA effortlessly slips away and kicks Saturn's ship directly in the chest. Yeah, you're done. The containment wrapper is still stuck to you, so your movement's off. Doesn't seem to have stopped you that much. Right? It's so rude of them to try to stop me. Seems cruel to try to take it away when you're having so much fun with it. Same as you, right? Do I know you? Everyone knows Memorial Foundation's perfect ace. But do I know you? So I don't, do I? Was just playing Dragon's Dogma 2? Fuck yeah. Let me out of this thing and I'll tell ya. Why should I? Because you can't help yourself. Besides, don't you want a real fight? Can you promise it'll go different? I can promise it'll be more fun. You're asking me to totally abandon my duty to bring you back to do that instead. What, you won't? The legendary pilot who defected from Memorial Foundation then double-crossed the rebels she abandoned them for can't be opposed to a little fooling around with the enemy. I guess you do know me. Want to trust each other? Or is it more fun if we don't? Fuck the Memorial Foundation. It's more fun if they don't, and LUNA-TERA gets owned. I'm impressed. Most people would be nervous to have a knife this near their throat. It's not like you can hurt it, so there's nothing to be nervous about, is there? That's true. But you're just so new to this. Thought your brain would be overriding the information from that ship. Maybe I'm not new to this. Oh? You were a candidate, so I think that might be true. But you're also trembling, so I don't think it's completely true. I'm still very dangerous, you know, LUNA-TERA. I believe that for sure. You wouldn't be trembling if you were in my shoes? Less so. People tremble for a lot of reasons, though. I don't have anything to fear, so please don't project that onto me. Huh. Well, if you're fearless, what is it then? It could be anticipation, couldn't it? This is very foolish of me. It really is. I have you right where I want to, remember. That might mean I have you too. Your claws are twitching. I thought we promised to trust each other. I still don't. Then you must really like living dangerously if you're still helping me. I'm having fun. I can tell. If you want to know so bad, that's why I didn't like you. Because you were a test pilot and never got to fly before the end of the Cold War, while idiots like me got to? Oh, I never thought so. Sorry. Oh, I thought so. That's enough. Hold still. Everyone lets you have as much fun as you wanted. You're a real huge jerk. I was always jealous of that. Everyone who lets me get away with it regrets it now. There. Done. Thanks. For all your hard work. I should leave you something to remember me by. Oh? Ready to fight for real? I sorta already did. And Saturn has left a claw scratch of hot pink poison seeping on Mayor Chrysium's thigh. How's that? Finally did get a hit in on ya. Heh. Good job. They break away, rocketing. Just a little love bite. Pay me back for it next time. Trust me, I will. Ever since the day Mars began... Whoop. Sapphic mecha makeouts in space, plus queer politics through metaphor. Yes, it is also a visual novel. Ever since the day Mars began, Mars has been doomed. No, there will never be a planet Mars. That's a name reserved for places where human life, gravity, and culture reign. This is just bitter Aries. But like the stringy, inedible weeds that grow when nothing else does, Cradle's Grace is dug in and we can't get them out. The colonies are wrecked, the terraforming engines are broken, the gravity furnaces are out of control. There's no resources left on this planet, no strategic value. This planet doesn't even exist. It is an inert rock. There's no point in fighting. There's no need to fight. Ship's elves can't keep you alive alone forever, and even if that was the case, we could leave tomorrow and claim victory. Most of the Memorial Foundation NSES fleet already did. That's why there's barely any of us left, and why we can't get them out. What? Why don't I go home too? And leave all these idiots just to fucking die on a rock? Who do you think we're doing this for? External communications on August 31st, 1978 by Memorial Foundation troops. Hey, it's not like we're idiots. We know we're doomed. This planet still hasn't fulfilled the requirements for human life. And life is just the start anyway. Don't you know that gravity is something more important? Do you understand celestial mechanics, right? You do understand celestial mechanics, right? Matter is made of tiny particles, but enough of it exerts gravity that stitches the universe together. Culture is made of tiny humans, and enough of it together can decide what's real and what isn't. It really, it is really quite fucked up that this is how decisions about humans get made. Enough humans can decide something and then it'll be true. Even about what's human and what's not. They don't even have to wait for the deadline. They've already decided that any human without their feet planted on the earth is in fact not a human. That's a pretty usual thing for humans to do. No differences any of us need to exist. We'll all just be aliens, and they'll send the real military after us, and we'll die. But if we just hold the line here, and our princess. Wait, sorry. But if we just hold the line here, for our princess to get through and make it to the moon, she'll open up the gravity well, and then we get to decide. Internal communications sent on January 25th, 1981 by Cradle's Grace's Irregulars. It's morning on Ares, but what time in space? If we can get our capital ship launched and refueled, and the prototype retrofitted with the final equipment, we'll have everything in place. Keeping out of canyons on Keep out of the canyons on Mars, where Cradle's Graces and Memorial Foundation are bickering. Hold the city ruins against invading troops, and make sure no one tries to get the oxygen ocean on fire while we refuel. It's a pretty thankless job. But me? I can't wait to see what happens. This is the most exciting space has ever been. Before we got here, this was a dead rock. But the best we could have ever hoped for was Earth in a different place. Who needs that? Far in the distance, the moon's gravity well shines. If no one controls it before the deadline's up, Earth will take drastic steps to ensure that humanity is not divided. That what they're afraid of happening, we will ensure that it happens. Finally, we'll have something alien in space. Private communications sent on January 26, 1981 by a celestial mechanics researcher. Receiving report. Alert. Report not accepted. 2 errors detected. Error 1. A failure to explain why Celestial Mechanics ship's string of pearls was not successfully apprehended. Error 2. A failure to explain why Cradle's Grace's ship's elf, Krun Makla, was not successfully incapacitated. Please correct errors before proceeding. Resubmit. Warning. No correction submitted. Force resubmit. Generating new assignments. Penalty assignments. Sniper duty, planet Ares, currently held by Cradle's Graces. Purpose: preventing celestial mechanics refueling and egress. Penalty assignment: sniper duty. Cradle's Graces held planet Ares. Purpose: top secret. Take out Cradle's Graces prototype Krun Makla on research assignment in Cradle's Graces territory. Penalty assignments cannot be refused. Indicate that you have understood new orders. Why? Ready for gravitational catapult. Prepare launch for inner solar system. I think I'm going to go for Cradle's Graces this run, just out of sheer curiosity. Subject, Halamede 1, Origin, Leaked Data Packet. Author, Second Generation Pilot Candidate Interviews. Why me? Because you're special. A special kind of child. All children are special. That's true. They are. I'm not more special than those children. We think you might be. Special how? You're the top of your class already at such a young age. We think that you might be able to do things other children can't. My sister is better than me at all those things, and my Aunt Europa when she was my age. We think you might be special in a different sort of way. Can you look at the box in front of you? Okay. Press your hand on the box. Okay. Nothing happened. We're using an instrument to measure something that is very, very small, but moving it even a little that you cannot see it would be very important. How do I do that? You should not think about it. Just do it. I can't. I know you can. I can't. Your aunt and your sister could easily do as such, so you can do as much too. Oh, it moved. Did you get that? Yeah, I saw it move. Literally saw it. Contact the director immediately. Subject: Unified Culture Theory. Origin: pre-installed reference material. Author: Memorial Foundation Introductory Literature. Unified culture theory is a brute forcing of defined solutions for the universe through a forcible elimination of all other possibilities. The theory is attractive to those that desire a simple, beautiful, endlessly complex solution for the universe. In order to develop this theory, there needs to be a solution for the Nix aversion paradox, which demands that anything not human exists in the Everse. The most compelling current premise for a unified culture theory that contemporary physical models involves a full integration of all available concepts, directed and established in such ways to maximize benefit for humanity. This theory of everything speaks to the desire to know, understand, and master the universe while also incorporating a premise of universal love, happiness for everybody, free, and let no one be left behind. Unlike tyrants of old that crushed alternate futures under their heels and only caused the existential enemy to blossom, such a unified theory would welcome and forgive all humanity and direct to benefit all things that are and that might yet be. Enjoying your missions? More thrilling work than fighting the half-hearted troops left on Ares? Much, much more. I forgot what it was like to work this hard. I'm rusty. Are you unhappy with your progress? I don't know. Are you unhappy? I don't know. It's always been hard to tell with you, though I'm not sure if I can answer that question better than you. I know since you were freshly assigned to the first pilot wave, you were so delicate. And you've only become more delicate, even as you become stronger. I don't think you'd describe me back then as delicate. I saw it very clearly, though the other executives thought you were a scrappy pain in the butt. You were just scared. There's no point. No point in pretending otherwise. You just see through it. I guess I haven't changed as much as I thought. Long ago, I saw a strong and delicate girl. I've worked hard to make sure that you're more than that. Sorry. I've worked hard to make you more and more of that. Rather than simply cultivating your strengths, understanding your weaknesses is needed to grow. Let me ask you again. This time, focus. Count backwards from 20. Remember a moment of comfort. I'll wait. Are you happy or unhappy? I don't know. Because I feel like I'm on the cusp of something. It's frightening, yet it could be amazing, or something amazing. That's a real feeling. Good girl. Are you blushing? Anyone would. I feel more embarrassed than I did back then. Ah, that's an even better feeling to have. Hold on to that one. Channel closed. I like that one. Rift in the Earth. After her maiden voyage, Cradle's Graces is testing the finishing touches on the terrifying Krunmakla prototype. It's a chance for LUNA-TERA to defeat their trump card, but will she close the rift between them instead? Or will it only widen deeper? Girls love being flustered and feeling vaguely humiliated. Who boy don't they? LUNA-TERA, cancel the launch. There are new orders. Really? I thought they were very insistent about this mission. And it's a good idea, so I thought I'd do it. The new orders are Cradle's Grace's super weapon has contacted the base already. Send anyone except for LUNA-TERA there immediately. Ah, I see. Well, prep the Mercurium for launch. LUNA-TERA, even I have to say something if you disobey an order right in front of my face. But you don't disagree? Or you just stop me instead of saying something? A certain degree of questioning orders from the top is allowed. Given who's in charge, obviously. Halmead's just a foolish princess. If Cradle's Graces is using that new weapon. That's all the more reason not to send randos who don't stand a chance against it. Helmeet hitting a panic button being, do not send LUNA-TERA to meet Pluto again. Do not, under any circumstances, let them make out. She's jealous. She hates to see a boss bitch winning. If Cradle's Graces is using that new weapon, that's all the more reason not to send randos who don't stand a chance against it. You fundamentally misunderstood Memorial Foundation, LUNA-TERA. Helmeet leads the recovery effort because no one else is fit. Only that naive, conceited, foolish girl has the love required to bring humanity back to Earth. Naive, one-sided, and unself-aware love. Nevertheless, that is exactly the love that is required. It's for us to interpret that fundamental impulse in a way that will ensure strategic advantage. So I will ask you, does love motivate your actions? Or are you eager to find someone to shatter you into orbit? Your connection with that pilot, and don't think I don't know about it, or who she is, which is it? Guilt or love? Will you let me go if I say I need to see her to know? I would advise against it. Her love might be stronger than ours. That's possible. All the more reason you shouldn't get near it. Let me take the risk. Fight until we forgive each other. Helmeet is a top tier hater. She is a borderline homewrecker, and I'm kind of into it. The balance shifts because LUNA-TERA hesitated, and Pluto did too. Pluto passed over the Ares Canyons once, twice, 3, 4, 5 times. LUNA-TERA had a chance to make the first move, but Pluto couldn't keep pretending she didn't notice her lying in wait. It wasn't that LUNA-TERA was ready to make the shot, it's that she still hadn't decided to make it or not. Pluto's been waiting for her to grow for a long time. She's tired of being the one waiting. There's no time for elegant duels or anticlimactic sniping. When Kryn clashes into the canyon, it's the worst kind of fight. Tragic and pathetic princess, you gotta love making them cry. Yeah. Kryn fingers will no longer open or close, but she swipes with the useless limb anyway. The ring finger of Pluto's ship's elf breaks and twists off, breaking with the force of backhanding Mercurium into the cannon wall, which shambles to its feet, and then falls down immediately. LUNA-TERA's balance gyros must be broken, but that's not so bad. At least she still has 2 legs, unlike the Kryn. Luna T, you really are the most stubborn woman I know. I'm proud of you, but that you're only... Sorry. I'm proud of you, but that you're only this tenacious when I'm finally being serious is a little vexing, you know. I mean, I've kept it going this long. Has to count for something, right? I don't want to wreck you. I just really need you to win or lose. Could you do that, please? Both of those are hard to do. When you've got 5 minutes to grow up. Pluto's reach is longer than expected. Little tricks of gravity might not be enough. The Mercurium was made not to be caught. More precisely, LUNA-TERA made the Mercurium something that couldn't be caught. No, don't you dare! Her fingers refuse to close, and Mercurium slips away. Sorry, I'm such a cockroach. Don't be. Slipping away is so like you. I don't know what else I expect. Luna T, I really can't let you get away. Not without an answer. I'm not gonna do that. What are you trying to do then? We promised we'd fight until one of us won. And then we go along with whatever the other decided. So why are you trying to take that away from me? LUNA-TERA holds Kryn severed left tidal reactor. Pluto can go without it, but not for long. That's what makes the Kryn so impossible, and without it, she can't be impossible for very long. I love that fucking line! That straight bars! That core is everything I have. The rest of me isn't gonna last long without it, so it might as well be everything. If I don't have that, I can't follow you, win or lose. I really don't think it's good for you. The Krunmakla makes a leap and crashes into the ground, just short of the Mercrisium. It's just close enough to that LUNA-TERA nearly forgets to take the opportunity to get a shot in Krunmakla's chest before she can recover to block it. You're going to lecture me about doing what's healthy? You got a lot of nerve. It's not cute. If we had to fight each other like this, I really wish it didn't have to be with you in that thing. You don't like it? Huh. You've always been like this. You're trying to tell me what's good for me. You don't want to admit this is really me. Luna T, I would listen to you if you ever listen to me once. Ever. I told you, I haven't gotten any better in the time we've been apart. I want you to not be strong or beautiful or amazing. I don't want you to be holding this weight of Cradle's graces, everyone's hopes and dreams, all by yourself. So please, just rest for now. Don't tell me that. I hate this, hate this, hate this. You never listen, and you know I'll always let you win in the end. But not this time. I don't know what you mean. I've been really patient. So if you keep playing dumb, you're gonna make me mad. I said, I don't know what you mean. I don't want anything else. I'm a cockroach. I don't need anything myself. Liar. Are you trying to make me mad? Be satisfied with it. I don't have any other answer. If I had one, I'd give it. So drop it. I'm not satisfied. No. You grow up and you be the adult for once. Get back here! Krunmakla's feet are still broken, but Pluto moves her with gravity alone. Mercrisium's engines flare, Navi is broken. Everything is broken, but it will move. Oh no, 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 not this time! Krunmakla's twin tidal reactors are falling apart with one of them nearly torn out, yet she still moves. The pressure of the unrestricted gravity peels the paint off Mercrisium. Her steels and plastics are chattering. Her remaining useless arm snaps and her engine wings creak. The pressure is not enough to bring her down, but it's enough for her to falter, and Krunmakla grabs her foot and slams her to the ground. Mercrisium creaks and strains, trying to flee, so Pluto pulls the rest of herself on top of her. Pluto, I'm serious. You're not the only one. I have things I'm willing to be hard and cruel for now, too. Mercrisium fires a sidearm. It doesn't dent Pluto. Pluto opens her hand. The fingers won't work, but the plasma still does, which flays LUNA-TERA's chassis, but gently. I'm really serious this time. I can't stop for a second, so I really need it back. It's already been too long, so give me back that part of me. Mercrisium opens her left hand. Pluto's missing reactor is still beating wildly. Sorry to be like this, but this ship's outfit and what it can do are more important than me, than anything else about me. Nothing is more important than you. A gentle click, LUNA-TERA's sidearm pointed at the stolen reactor, fires. The solid light slug misses just barely. There's a second shot, but it's buried in Pluto's blocking hand. And there's a third shot, but Pluto's ripped off the arm of Mercrisium, so it's just the last reflex of a limb separated from its owner. But that's all that the broken arm of Krunmakla can take. Its fingers make a last twitch before her arm finally snaps under its own weight, and the Krunmakla falls to what's left of its knees. How long are you gonna make me put up with this? What do you mean? You don't want to fight with me? Not a fight for real. Your heart isn't in it, so let's not. No. No, no, no! That's the only thing I want. Why are you like this? Acting like you know what I want better than I do. So what if you're right? Of course I don't want to fight you. Damn it, I hate you. After all that, I'm the one who's crying at the end again. The last time it was like this, I was the one crying too. Now I'm powerful like you, and something I'm fighting for like you that's not you or anyone but me. So let me fight for that. Stop protecting me. Stop making me fight for you. It's so easy to fight for you. If I'm not careful, it's all I'll ever want to do. I... I'm sorry. Don't want a sorry. You must think it's so easy to not care about you, but it's not. It's easy for you not to care about you, but it's the hardest thing for me. Still the one who ended up crying. Again. You wouldn't listen back then either. Mayor Chrysium rises, gently brushes away the burnt portions of Krynmakla's armor. The joints are already starting to heal as gravity pulls them back. Almost just as good as new, but a little damaged. I know you. Don't distract yourself, dummy. Reattaching arms is hard, so do mine right at least. It was the same the last time, too. I said you deserve better. I said, but you are better. I just ignored it because I'm stupid. Not because I'm cool. Thank God. Everything is worth it. If you finally don't think you're cool anymore. Is extremely emotionally raw. It is additionally so goddamn beautiful. Hang on. I had to write something down. Subject, Origin Classified Records Leak, author Operations Commander Europa. My kids are idiots, and also they're not my kids, and also they're not kids anymore. Please stop calling them your kids when they are my students. They're not my children. I'm not being pedantic. I am not doing it to avoid being attached. I'm already more attached than is best. Don't encourage it. They're grown-ups, and also fools. Mars is the most genius pilot, but she's also as much as a fool as everyone else. She has nothing but cry and complain and win effortlessly like a real hero. If she was a boy, they'd call her that, and you wouldn't be asking me who the best pilot is. You just know. Only in space could that girl be allowed to be a hero. She deserves her moment in the sun. She might win the war for us single-handedly. Anything else that isn't her story will just be a blip of fate off in the sky. Rest easy. She's gonna win the day. When the others interfere, they're not gonna steer the course of the future any more than a little bit to the left or right of the course that Mars is sailing. I am not going to interfere. Valuing their independence is important. They'll be adults soon, and they won't be anyone's kids. Insist on the comparison, and it will become clear how far we are from fulfilling that role for them. For my part, I don't wish to forget that there are limits to what we can do and who we can be. Though yes, as a matter of fact, I am tired of them calling me Dad. Subject, Secular Astrology Explained, Part 1, Origin, Archived Message Retrieval, Author, Pilot, Mars. I don't know why you suddenly asked about this, and I'm not the person who knows anything about it, but sure, I guess. I learned all this from Pluto, so you could have just asked her. Too nervous, huh? I see right through you. Well, because I feel sorry for you, I'll tell you about it. Venus, LUNA-TERA, and Mars are the interpersonal distances. If Venus is the breath of the body and Mars is the blood, LUNA-TERA is the flesh, and represents skin-to-skin distance. That's why it represents family. The Earth and the Moon, they're different, but they're parts of the same thing. A two-in-one. Certainly the Moon also represents something different, but is also part of us. When you think of it as a dark side, you forget that it's composed of your own same flesh. It's not your mirror, it's your back. Showing off how much of a good teacher's pet she is for Pluto. Yeah! I'd call her dad. I'd call her that just to see if she'd punch me. Mars is the beneath the skin distance. That's the blood, but also, well, the ways that humans communicate, not skin to skin, but beneath skin to beneath skin. Get it? Don't make me spell it out. There's a reason for fucking and fighting to feel really similar sometimes. Pluto said the other day, it's like you two only know one language, and that's the only talking you ever do in it. The solar system maps out a human body, and by colonizing the planets, a greater human body will exist, with the sun as an inseparable totality of it all. That's the philosophical justification, but it's kind of romantic, right? Maybe it's kind of fake, though. So I have to ask, how do you really feel about me coming back to Memorial Foundation? You were a loyal and efficient ace pilot for the Memorial Foundation for the entire Cold War against our alien and ultimately irrelevant existential threat from beyond the system. Then you were perfectly loyal to the pilots left adrift to the decommissioning of the pilot program and colonization project. Now you're perfectly loyal to Memorial Foundation again. You haven't betrayed our site at all. That's a generous reading. That's the major theme of the game brought up casually. Yup. You betrayed plenty of love-struck pilots, but your political loyalty is impeccable. So even if Halamy doesn't trust or forgive you, I welcome your return. That's not going to be a problem? That she doesn't? Oh, she welcomes your return the most, but keep on your toes. That one I don't have any questions about. Keep your friends close and your exes closer. Except if you're not still suspicious of me for betraying Memorial Foundation, how about her? Oh, that I'll be mad at you both for a very long time. Please don't worry about it, however, as you've both made each other suffer more than enough to make up for your youthful indiscretions. Honestly, the two of you hooking up to somehow get at me was the most hilarious part, as you ended up punishing each other more than I ever could have. Can we talk politics again? I think I get the picture already. That's not to say the two of you still don't have a lot of lessons to learn from the experience. Once I'm sure you've learned them, your punishment will be over. I'm suddenly very interested in hearing about factions again. On that note, I'm not as worried. Just remain true to what you really believe in, LUNA-TERA. I love her. I love her so much. 40mm kiss! It's time. It's time. Memorial Foundation deploys a certain sniper to stop escape and resupply routes to the resting Celestial Mechanics fleet. All Saturn needs to do is stay out of trouble. But what's the chance in that? I kind of want to see what the other part of this branch looks like. Guard duty in Olympus City. Command's worried about the Celestial Mechanics unit might try to escape while the fleet is launching, using the cityscape as cover. Then we've just given up on catching them on Ares, if their only hope is them being that stupid. It's a ruined husk. Even if Cradle's Graces isn't clinging to it, they'd cling to even the faintest sign of life on Mars. Excuse me, Ares. Well, it's boring, pointless work that no one wants to do, and it's gotta make me wonder if someone's actually mad at me. You let the prototype escape, LUNA-TERA, and the most generous assumption is incompetence, which from you, they have a hard time buying. It's not fair, I'm plenty incompetent. They should know that by now. You are only incompetent in the ways you wish to be. That's an awfully profound way to call me lazy. If you were simply lazy, you wouldn't go out of your way to find so much trouble to get in. And that's the reason why this assignment's so disastrous as a punishment. Boring you is dangerous. I learned that very early in your career. There's no way to make you sit still. Oh? Maybe I'll try it this time. There's this good sniper spot with a view of the whole city. I won't move from there. Why does it sound like you're promising to behave? Or why does it sound less like you promising to behave and more like you're going to brag about how much trouble you can get in without even moving? Either way, they're sure to put me back in the front, right? Saturn gets no-scoped by LUNA-TERA. Never forgotten. Every story told. Hang on. Just gotta crush that bottle. I forgot that I usually mute for that. The balance shifts, because LUNA-TERA could hold still and Saturn couldn't. Correct for gravity, it's unsettlingly weak. Correct the cold blue starry daylight of the fragile Aries atmosphere. Sniping from the remains of the capital spire is like being in Sniping from the remains of a capital spire is like being just an eye for a trigger finger, a thrilling place for LUNA-TERA to fight. Correct for wind? Skittish and powerless. Correct for gravity, there's still too much of it. Correct for the nuisances of this infant planet that will never be. Skirting along the abandoned roads of the city that never was is like being an exposed nerve, a thrilling place for Saturn to fight. I see you. LUNA-TERA squeezes the trigger for the 17th time. The cover couldn't protect String of Pearls from LUNA-TERA's eyes, and it sure couldn't protect her from her trigger finger. Engage reactor. Initiate inertial control. The slug whips right by Saturn, and that's 7 times dodged. The 4 shrinking holes in her chassis. Chassis plural? Chassis, marching closer to the String of Pearls' heart. Marks what happens when she doesn't. Getting shot still sucks. Saturn isn't used to it. That one was too close. That was really, really, really close. Tell me I'm getting better, right? No way it's just luck? You've gone from getting hit all the time to getting hit half the time. That's better, but what you want is to be hit none of the time. Don't tell me what I want. Maybe I love getting shot. You wouldn't be the first. Wow, weird. You must fight some really problematic people. Some pilots find interesting ways to pass the time. I kind of get the appeal. What else is there to do? If you didn't love getting shot so much, you wouldn't run around space shooting each other. If that's true, why'd you come here to fight? If that's true, why'd you come here? There's nothing left to fight over on Ares for anyone. Give me one thing to do more fun than look demure and get shot at. Someone has to do the shooting. That tells me what position you favor, but it doesn't answer my question. I'm taking evasive maneuvers. If I dodge the next one, answer my question. I won't answer the first one, but I'll answer a different one. If you dodge. Saturn gets so quiet. She gets so still, yet her heart is thumping. Her reactor is strumming with resonance. It's obvious LUNA-TERA is sniping her from the tower, the city's last and tallest building. But now, suddenly, she isn't so sure. She isn't sure if she knows where LUNA-TERA is, or if she knows anything about her at all. What did her face look like again? It's not that Saturn wasn't on the ready. She's baiting. She knows exactly what she's doing. LUNA-TERA just guessed for one solid half-second where Saturn wasn't ready, and slipped her solid light bullet in that space. The shot lands right through her throat. For a moment, Saturn's just, I'm dead, but she's not. Then she hurts so bad she wants to die, but she's just mistaking the very different things the String of Pearls feels instead of that. It's not really pain, but it's a feeling so overwhelming it shuts Saturn down like pain would. It's fascinating, full of information. LUNA-TERA, you're not doing a very good job of convincing me to try not to get shot. I've heard that before, too. You sure are having fun. What makes you think that? Want to know what I know? When correcting for gravity, the impression you leave in space feels a little like, for a second, like... Well, someone might say it's like an eye roll, but I think it's kind of like a giggle, too. Maybe that counts as a hit. You don't win cat and mouse games by batting every time a head pokes out. Except somehow you do. You're good at making people not follow their own better instincts. You shouldn't be getting me to teach you to fight fair. You're so much better like this. Aw, thank you. I don't fight fair because I have absolutely no idea how to fight. But this is why I hate you, LUNA-TERA. You just don't get it. I want to beat you at something you're good at. You're really tough, not your sniping, which you can't stop which can't stop me at all. But you're totally impenetrable. You're doing something tricky. What are you doing? It's still my question, my hit. That's the rules. Why are you here? Firstly, because I refuse to ever be bored. Just like you. Secondly, wiping that smug expression off your face is my deepest desire. So teach me how to weave through your fire and sink my claws in ya. What's the third reason? Not telling. I already gave you one for free. Nice dodge. My question then? Dodge a real one first. LUNA-TERA fires and Saturn leaps forward directly into it. The bullet misses, her tail sparks, and she thrusts through the atmosphere. How's that? Good work. But you have to keep it up. LUNA-TERA lands a bullet straight through her legs, and Saturn crumbles. But the moment her limbs heal, Saturn leaps again. She's ready for the next bullet, but not the one behind it, and that one's a clean shot. Right through her. No stopping power at all, and she leaps through again. And it's gone in the rubble before LUNA-TERA can land another shot. Some more dodges or more hits. Counterpoint, here's my opinion on getting shot so far. Fills my brain with overwhelming information and barely stops me from doing anything at all because I'm in control of an impossible space war machine. Can you actually say you've ever really hit me? Flawed argument. Really disappointing, and I was expecting a lot better. Am I losing? Can I ever lose, no matter how much you shoot me? I don't think so. I don't actually think so. This machine's never gonna lose. You can pin me down. You might be so much better than me I couldn't beat you in a million years. But I will keep trying and beat you with dumb luck. Maybe that is true. You never hit me. Why are you here? Do you know there's a theory about that ship selves can't actually be destroyed? You can break as much of them as you want, but the gravity engine will always put it back into shape. As long as you're sufficiently tenacious, you can survive anything and try again until you get it right. So, you do get what... Well, fuck. So you do get what this machine is for. My least favorite person in the world came up with that theory, and this is the ship self to test it. So naturally, I know all about it. But it's true that no one has died. That's why they get to say that there's still no war in space. Dodging my questions again? But in practice, wrecking a ship self until both the pilot and the ship give up is indistinguishable. Because you can become so broken, continuing is impossible. Even if they can't kill you, you can be changed. You think you can do that to me? Or is that what you want to have happen to you? I have. To people who have much more fun with this than you do. Ha! Don't call it a war is nothing but play fighting. All it takes is someone not playing along to ruin it all. A solid light slug passes so close to Saturn's head the heat chars her face block, but it's not a hit. She incremented to the left 0.05 seconds before impact. Oh, you are getting better. It's definitely my question now. I'm still answering. That theory has not been disproven. It's more likely true. It's more than likely true. But this is something you should know first. Your body can't be killed or destroyed, but it can be changed. When you're hit, truly hit, you're bent into a different kind of shape, and through that you can change. I think you should ask yourself if you're ready for that before you say you want to play with me for real. Speaking from experience, about that always bleeding wound on your ship self, it's not always a bad thing to change. Last one. If you can't dodge this, I don't think you're ready. Once again, Saturn feels LUNA-TERA slipping away. She's not here. She's not anymore. She never was. Once again, it's my hit. Electricity explodes from the target point and connects back to the origin. It starts where LUNA-TERA is and when it connects back to Saturn. Fast as light, the course correction defines the pathway retroactively. Wow. I'm an idiot. This is great. You're not supposed to be ecstatic about someone getting the best of you. That's my move. Sorry. But I was condescending before. Next time we fight, it'll be for real. But if I don't want to fight, then that'll be for real too. But that'll be real then too. I love these two. I love them so much. September 12th, 1963. That's when the first and last artificial colony of the native sphere was completed, in a tranquil bowl of stable gravity at Lagrange Point 5. As the front line against existential threats, a training facility for a generation of humans adapted to flight in space, as a colony environment with the life, gravity, and culture necessary for human beings to live, thrive, die, and be born, with the hope that peace on Earth would reign if we won this war in heaven. Without pressure, water boils off our tongues, and we dissolve into component parts. Without culture, we forget the shapes we're supposed to have and turn inside out into something else. Out of necessity, we created a pressurized environment, exerting enough gravitational pressure to maintain cohesion all senses in space. The ships help to ferry us through the world. They function only in places where gravity of humans is too light to sustain existence. It was doomed from the start. Of course they were jealous. Of the humans the Earth no longer wanted, flying on zero-G wings. Dr. Nix, Executive Director, Memorial Foundation Existential Expansion. July 29th, 1958. That's when the Memorial Foundation International and Executive Committee was granted international authority. In the spirit of unified human peace and a verified presence of an existential threat outside the solar system, to establish a cultural, military, and scientific response to existential threats. No longer confined to Earth, a growing native sphere, where our gravity reigns forever. Safety, research, and expansion, the three pillars of Memorial Foundation's space branch, will protect Earth from without as it has from within. Free from the old world's gravity, it would be possible to advance science, art, and culture without constraint, and join hands. All of Earth finally unified for Memorial Foundation, protecting humans from other humans through peace on Earth, and protecting humans from everything else in war through heaven, or through war in heaven, would fulfill both our agendas simultaneously. We really foolishly decided we could do better. There were two errors in this approach. The first is that to do better in heaven is meaningless, as it cannot be exported to Earth. The space program was never rejected by the surface. It simply did not have enough relevance to sustain interest. The second error is the intrinsic error of the Memorial Foundation. The existential threat is intrinsic to humanity. You can fight it, but you cannot cut it out. The designation of alien is required by humans. We cannot trick an existential threat into a convenient manifestation. As it has always been, only humans can fulfill the criteria to be alien. Europa, Chief Officer, Memorial Foundation Existential Safety. January 2nd, 1980. That's when they blew up the Lagrange colony. It was a real shame. It was a green, wet, and very peaceful place, and now it's a very cold, green, wet, and unsettling place. It's where we did a lot of legitimately incredible things, like create sustainable tidal reactors, or new culture, experiment with human bodies and human development, manufacture self-sufficient alter egos for space exploration, and did everything other than successfully combat the unknowable existential threat. Earth and the Memorial Foundation's surface considers that a failure, but in truth, they're just not trying hard enough. Through gravity, humans decide what is real and what is not. Humans cannot make whatever they imagine come true. Through imagining, humans chart out what is true. They invent with human effort what exists. If an existential threat doesn't exist, we just have to make one. But of course it doesn't work like that. Nothing could be more difficult than creating something alien. Our only reference points are humans, so the idea of something alien is unimaginable because we cannot imagine outside of those terms. There's a certain degree of misunderstanding needed for humans to successfully classify something as alien, but before they blew it up, we got very close. Jepetis, Executive Director, Memorial Foundation Existential Research. Day 5, baby. Receiving a report. Provisional acceptance of pilot mission completion. Incoming alert all Memorial Foundation troops. Abandon Ares front line. All units immediately rendezvous with main fleet, as the Pilot Academy Lagrange colony is on the way to Celestial Mechanics moon base. Generating new assignments. Provisional assignment. Special Operations Mission. Secure Lagrange colony as possible launch point for Celestial Mechanics hit and run tactics. Provisional assignment. Special Operations Mission. Destruction of obsolete Academy research technology before it falls into the hands of Cradle's Graces. Provisional assignments will reduce your penalty status. Indicate that you have understood new orders. Yes. Ready for gravitational catapult. Prepare to launch to Lagrange Point 5. Big gravity on the Cradle Grace. Subject, Secular Astrology Explained Part 2. Origin, archive message retrieval from Pilot Mars. I only did this because you asked, okay? I warned you, this is dorky stuff. The ancient roots of it are pretty dubious, in case you were wondering. I think most of it's just made up, and yes, I know that it's all made up, but not even made up by some wise man 1,000 years ago. It's probably made by some dude in California. Anyways, what the dude in California does is he organizes the parts of the body into the parts of the mind and the spirit. He says that what you should do is think about your body not as a body but as a tool for relating to other people. I know that when they draw them on a I know that they draw them on a body, but it's like, don't think of them as actual body parts. It's the way you communicate. I love how Mars communicates. He is so brash and abrasive and fun. But, like, he also knows a lot of shit. I don't know, it's neat. So this chart might help. I think the point of it, in a way, is to remember that these are all parts of you, but also parts of other people, and you have ways to communication between each other using them. People always ask me for their charts because they want to be flattered about what they're good at, but that's not the point. You need to know where you have trouble, too. I looked at mine, and I looked at mine so much right before we broke up, you know. Like it did any good. But, you know, I'm so weak when it comes to Venus. That's the distance of breath, which means ability to read the atmosphere and talking the way we communicate through breath. When you're bad at Venus, that doesn't mean you're bad with words, but you're bad at receiving words. You don't hear them, or you don't feed other people the words they need to live. Well, according to your chart, you're bad at that too, so hope it helps. Mars Best Girl, I love her. She's so good. I love her. Subject, Pilot Halamede Annual Report. Second generation pilot program declassified. And the Pilot Assessment Reports is the author. This is between Dr. Nix, Europa, and... Oh, Nix and Europa. She's not coming out of her room. Refuses to pilot it. Figures the most well-behaved of all Generation 2 pilots would have a tantrum like a storm when it finally came. Do you expect me to know what to do about it? Yeah. It's really your problem, though, isn't it? Don't start. I am begging. Fine, fine. What's the big problem, then? She'll get over it. She upset with her about her sister? Of course she is, but not for the reason I thought. Why did you think? That she missed her? Hilarious. What's the actual reason? She won't accept a hand-me-down. The Hello Sulci? She won't pilot it. She won't pilot the perfect second-generation machine because it was made for her sister? She wants her own machine made? She's ridiculous. She said it would be fine if she died. She said it would be fine if she died, but if it's just because she flaked out and got bored with space and left her problem in Halamede's lap, she won't do it. Are siblings really this petty and mean? Stop laughing and help! I love this note too. It's getting 4 a.m. here, so I gotta go. Enjoy the rest of the route. You'll catch the VOD. Hell yeah. Only child Dr. Nix? Hell yeah. Do we get along better or worse than back then? Let's talk about something else. Oh, is it really so bad these days? We don't get along because we're too much like each other. We used to be so different. What happened? I got older and learned a lot. That's enough to make me more like you. You're not giving me enough credit. Really? Do you think I'd blame you for being too good at teaching me the same lessons that made you who you are? But yeah, hope you stay safe, Rubies. I believe the next Heaven Will Be Mine stream is gonna be on... Let me look. That would be on Sunday at 6 p.m. EST. Well, I'd always hoped. I'd blame you if I felt like it. There's nothing to blame you for. Nothing you warned me about turned out like you said, so I stopped paying attention to any of your advice. I thought I was too smart for the rest, so it's just a coincidence we ended up like each other. I never minded your lessons. Are you sure? I was a harsh teacher. You're really glad for it? I am happy for everything I learned. Not for everything you taught me. I mean, it wasn't like you were wrong. Everything you said would happen, happened. But none of it is like you said it would. If I followed your advice to the letter, it wouldn't have helped me at all. It was just different enough. So I came up with my own answers. It wasn't until I looked back at them that I realized it was exactly what you would have done. Fair, I suppose. I should count that as success for me. But also due to your effort for you. That's just what I wanted, though. I never really wanted a carbon copy of myself. I wanted you to improve on what you'd been handed. Did you think you did a good job? Shouldn't you be the one asking yourself that question, since you're the one in charge of the education? I was afraid you'd say that. Don't come to me for answers now, of all times. Well, at least there's plenty of time left for me to turn out right in the end. Deeper cuts and look at me. We'll do look at me, because that's new for me, I think. The Cold War is long over, and the existential threat is gone, but its memories still stir here, at the observatory. Will it be put to rest here, or buried forever? You're quiet, Europa. What's up? Is that unusual? Sometimes. But you said I have a briefing for you 5 minutes ago? It seems I lost track of time again. But don't you already know what the mission is? Close the lens and prevent Cradle's Graces from opening it further. For the purpose of? Who knows? Memorial Foundation on the ground wants it done. It was the observation device for existential threats, but in the end, we never knew if what we were seeing was what there was, or if we, the observers, were just seeing what we wanted to see. When it came clear that celestial mechanics had been pushing development in the direction of things that they did. When it became clear that celestial mechanics had been pushing development in the direction of things that they did not themselves understand, we chose to destroy the colony. Later works of the space colony era showed signs of an art and design movement potentially hazardous and implicitly treacherous to the human race. But very lovely. I wish we hadn't caught on so quick. Memorial Foundation on Earth would be loath to admit it, but it's possible it did, and does, in fact, work in one or more ways. Casts it all in a new light, don't it? I didn't expect you to feel so nostalgic. I have some happy memories of the Academy. Don't you? Yeah. Some. But I'd rather move forward, in any way at all, than to keep dwelling. That's always a virtue, if you have learned from it. And you're not just trying to forget. Keep your advice to the mission and not me. Well, I only have an interest in the success of one of those two things. The sort of fight you don't need a robot for. Outcome favors Cradle's graces. We're gonna do it, baby. The observatory's lens. A single eye staring into space, threatening to blink from the Academy Gardens. Every pilot remembers watching the observatory twitch as it focused on some light years away point, searching. A reminder of the battle for Earth they were eternally preparing for. Not unsettling, but always foreboding. A zero pointed at nowhere. Neither LUNA-TERA nor Pluto remembers who first called it that. Now in the trembling of the colony's collapsing gravity well, this deck of the wrecked colony where LUNA-TERA and Pluto seems like a moment frozen in time. Eternally receding. Growing always distant, yet never fading. I knew I'd find you here. I knew it would feel like this. But I'm still here. I have orders. I know, dummy. They tell me everything too. You wouldn't have come if you weren't ordered. I don't know why everyone is expecting I'll be bitter about coming back. I'm not. There's good and bad memories. That's fine. That's fair. I'm older now, and it's that much sweeter thinking about the past from here. It's there, and I'm here. I wouldn't go back, would you? I like being an adult. I wouldn't mind being the aging ace. I don't need to be a glittering hero. We fought so hard against the existential threat during the Cold War. Whatever they were, trick of the light or not, we did good fighting them. We tried our best. That's the practice kids need. Now we're grown up and we can see our own futures and mess them up if we want. I'm way happier to fight now. Fighting has a different meaning now. No matter how bad I am at being alive, I like it now. You're really grown up now. I kind of hate it. Miss pushing you around and then when you'd go along with me. Me too. You still have a hard time making a decision that's good for you all by yourself, though. That's why I asked for orders to come here. That's so roundabout. I can't tell if that's a step forward or back. I think it would be worse if anyone else shut the observation gate, so I thought it really would have to be me. A zero point nowhere. Do you remember who said that? It's better than the actual name. I don't remember who said it, but I always think of it. I don't remember either. Do we have to do this? You're the one who's here to do it. It could be really easy. You're the one forcing my hand. Closing it is just a formality. It is already broken, and it never worked in the first place. Then why were you ordered to do it? The fact that you're here means I have to be here. They want any possibility closed. Every possibility closed. That's not harmony. These futures should get to live, even if they never come to pass. If trying to make worlds in space is naive, cutting the native spear off from the universe is just as naive. It's so pathetic and sad. It's even more pointless and sad than human beings fighting each other for no reason. Can't bear it. Won't let it happen. I changed my mind. Let's fight. I'd rather fight than keep talking like this. We're fighting now. This is the sort of fight ship cells were made for. Say something! I can't. I have nothing. Let's fight like we're supposed to. I won't. Don't make me talk. Don't make me fight with you. Don't make me kill your dream. Stop having this dream. Give up on space like the rest of the human race has. Let me close the iris of the observatory. It's because I wanted to see... It's because I wanted so much to see what that eye was supposed to see that I can't let you keep looking. That I can't possibly keep looking. That I won't... Sorry. That I don't want us to be tortured by that possibility anymore. That we can't lose you. I can feel how scared you are. And how brave. And how much you love. But I'm so mad at you. Why can't you believe like you did before? They brought us up with good intentions. And did everything they could. They really did. They really thought we could be better than who we were. The best kind of human beings there could be. They worked us very hard, but they forget for us to be exactly what we wanted to be, because that was human too. Even when it was hard or didn't make sense, they found a way. Even the awful ones really believed one humanity, every story threaded together, no one left behind. It would really be possible to fix the universe and let humans live forever in space. Childish dreams that everyone wishes could be true. All without understanding such simple things. I wonder how they expect they would unite humanity against aliens when they found us so alien. We'll always be our own existential threat. Every human understood that but them. No wonder Earth rejected us. The observation deck sees nothing, because the threat is on the other side. We are each other's alien. It was flawed and it wasn't real, but they weren't that stupid. You know they weren't. The whole point was that it wasn't real yet, and it could be. That's what they wanted to do. They wanted to make it real. And now they don't anymore. Really, do you want to go home too? Why can't you just say yes? I wouldn't mind if you actually wanted it. I'd go with you if you wanted it, but I'm not coming with you if you don't. I'll still fight. Thank you. I'm hoping that you win, but if you can't, I will promise this. I won't bring us back to Earth empty-handed. I'll do that if I die. The iris shifts. It still moves somehow, attuned to possibility. Mercuricium is looking fit to kill, if it wasn't trembling. The colony is a place of unsteady gravity. You're not on sure footing here. I'm back to being helpless again, like I used to be. You can stop me anytime. Prove you're ready to close this eye. I can't. I can't. I won't accept it. That doesn't mean I won't do it. I don't care if you'll love me one way or the other. It's too much. Space is broken. But I really don't want to leave. Earth is terrifying, but I can't go back there alone. I have no loyalty either way. I'm not strong like you. I just want to go where gravity takes me. You can hold everyone, but what do I do if I lose you? Your heart is full of everyone, but I can't watch you fight for the universe knowing how little you're thinking of yourself in it. Of course I don't know what to do, and fighting for you and fighting your dream are such different things. There's too much to do. Of course I don't know what to do. I don't know what you want me to do. Luna. God, I can't remember the last time you cried. Oh no, I can. It was when you said you hated it here in space, and I told you you should go back. And I'll come with you. Those were such hard days, but you didn't want to keep fighting. But when I said that, you started crying, and I couldn't understand why. It seemed so simple a solution and everything you wanted, and I got so mad. Then you told me that you didn't really want to leave if it meant fuck. Then you told me that you didn't want to leave if it meant me giving anything up. You didn't want to give anyone else up either. I wasn't expecting it at all. I'm so used to knowing what's on your mind. What's on everyone's mind. I don't think you can keep something so locked away and hidden. No matter how far my tides can reach, there's some places I can't even... Sorry. No matter how far my tides reach, there's some places I can't even know until you tell me. It was the first time I felt frustrated by that. I'm most angry at you and I can't do anything you want. But I guess that's how you feel about me. And how I feel about you. Oh, baby, you're crying again. I can't let you win, but we'll be together until the end. And after. I love these two so fucking much. Holy shit. Hang on, I need to take a drag for that one. That was real. That was fucking real, 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 real. Holy shit. Anyways, lore. Regarding Mecha 1, Mayor Chrysium, self-ship design notes by Dr. Nix. In a ship self, you don't have to worry about dying. Not in the same sort of way. A ship, se- a ship self, isn't even a weapon. It's a body for living and traveling in space, and it is equipped for doing all sorts of things that humans need to do, like fighting. The ship self, which lets you express like your own body, better than your own body, is a machine that's for falling in love and having fights. It's formed to literally suit us. It bears only the most abstract resemblance to something designed to kill another human being. The most efficient possible form for ending lives as quickly as possible wouldn't look anything like a human, and that's why Europa designed them from a child's toy. The ship self isn't the perfect form for war. It's a form that by nature turns war into something else. Partly this is due to humanity's relative weakness in space, separated from the origin of our gravity. Even with the power of a tidal reactor, we've barely come close to developing a ship self with gravitational and metacultural authority equivalent to human beings on Earth. While humans on Earth need to devote most of this authority to keeping their shape, identity, and differentiation from other humans, a ship self is less authoritative even than this. Though in space, they have far fewer restrictions for humans on Earth. If a ship self were to make planetfall, it'd be crushed under human pressure and rendered lifeless. Iapetus evaluation from the Memorial Foundation Executive Committee minutes. Author, Operations Decommission Chair Europa. No. It's gratifying to know that you share my suspicions as well. As I understood that it is the purpose of this committee to prepare for any eventuality, this particular possibility hasn't crossed our minds was beginning to worry me. Oh, no, I'm less worried. I'm no less worried now, but you're asking how to deal with Iapetus. That sense of superiority he has is not a weakness. It is truly dangerous, not just unpleasant. He seems. If he seems gracious or forgiving about a loss, it's only because he is utterly confident he will eventually be able to surpass you. He's a realistic man. He will find the easiest route. Merely coming out on top in the end is enough. He won't consider the quality of how he got there. In fact, it would reinforce his sense of superiority to know he surpassed you without having worked as hard as you did. He's shockingly good at predicting others, except for the moments in which he is wildly understood one. Or, sorry, he's shockingly good at predicting others, except for the moments in which he has wildly underestimated one. These fascinate me in particular. He can be so uncanny when it comes to gleaning specifications from trial behavior, and then he's blindsided by the most obvious conclusions. His lack of respect for interiority is quite stunning. His win rate without having it should appall anyone with a general respect for human beings. What is the moon drop, LUNA-TERA? Hmm? Elamide says it was something you used to talk about. Oh, yeah. We were thinking about crashing the moon into the Earth? Literally? Yeah, that too in the end. The goal of the space program used to be to make all of the solar system figuratively equivalent to Earth. When humans touch it, it becomes ours. That's why we use the Greek word to identify the physical bodies of space and the Romans to represent our understanding and incorporation of it. We were being silly, taking a metaphor way too literally and way too far, joking about crushing the solar system together. It would make sense to return it. It'd be nice and neat. Killing absolutely everyone. Yeah, it was horrible. It was a horrible thought I shared with Halamede. She hated it, but she kept arguing about it with me. The Earth looks so fragile and small here, and the moon looks so big. That's probably why. It was a bad joke, and she never thought it was funny. Good. She's very perceptive when it comes to that. I'm surprised. I am surprised always people can find that self-destructive streak of yours harmless or imperceptible. I'm glad she didn't. I'm surprised you kept me around given that. Should I have given up? Is that even a question? You should have followed your instincts. You appear to be misunderstanding. I take my work very seriously. As a leader, a woman, as a pilot, as part of the Memorial Foundation, you know that there are very real things the Memorial Foundation believes in, and I believe in them too. Yeah. In seeking to bring all people together, however, there are choices that have to be made. Should we cut the world to fit its people, or the people to fit its world? That is what we struggle with the most. Cut does not have to be a bad thing. It can be what's right, for you or for the world, making space for what exists without allowing it to be erased. Those the world abandons die, which is unacceptable. Or they become another world, which is also unacceptable. A kind of violence. Like smashing the earth into the moon, hoping for togetherness and killing everyone instead. We didn't find the right solution, but at least we knew which was a wrong one. Deeper cuts. In the Garden District, closest to the malfunctioning and broken tidal reactor that kept the colony together, time and space aren't quite right. It's the perfect place for a real fight. How deep under LUNA-TERA's skin do you think she can get? Come on, Europa. It's weird when you don't order me. Can't you see I'm hesitating? Show some politeness. It's weird to see you hesitate. You don't do it. And stop making it more weird, if you please. Let a woman be weird for once. I have no problems returning to the colony. I wouldn't have thought you would have more hang-ups than me. You have no regrets? No pain? At any of your training or your service into war about anything that happened there? About the people you met there? I don't have any problems returning to the Lagrange colony for this mission. The academy reshaped us all. No, I'm happy to put it to rest. I was a real idiot, so I don't mind seeing it trashed, or trashing it a little more to stop that Celestial Mechanics pilot from taking back the Lagrange reactor. Ah, you've taken an interest in Saturn. Professionally, she's a dangerous enemy. She was in Iapetus's division, but she was, yes, very clever. The Lagrange reactor is a worthless shard of nostalgia. Iapetus must be truly egomaniacal. Must be truly egomaniacal to send that prototype unit after it. That's a bad sign. The worst fights always happen over something worthless. It's certainly a trap, but you know what? It's still a chance to get one over him and stop that pilot, if you're prepared to be serious. I'm always serious. Are you serious enough to stop playing? I'm not playing. Whether you're being serious or playing isn't a matter of how you feel about it. It's a matter of whether you are committed or not. If you're playing because you simply can't decide, or if you're playing because you simply can't decide. You can't play forever. I told you I still haven't decided. I'm not closing off the future until the last moment. Decide what you want about the future when the future comes. But you'll never move from that point if you don't decide on how you feel about that pilot. Europa. Oh dear, are you feeling guilty again? Well, that's to be expected. I don't mind if you lose against that one. Or win. Just choose, right? You don't have to tell me. I know what happens if I don't. Fight for real in a fun way. Fight for real in a fun way. We didn't see this last time. I'd like to see it this time. Because we also got a Memorial Foundation victory last time anyways. Not long ago, the Academy Gardens were beautiful, and they were warm. Now they are colder than space, because no feeling is as cold as wet is, not even vacuum. Under the stability of artificial gravity, Lagrange Colony was as Earth. Maybe even a little bit more. In being more Earth than Earth was, it was also less, and so Memorial Foundation Existential Safety ordered it abandoned first when the space program was decommissioned. Not everyone agreed, and then there was a fight, and then the colony became like this. Ruined in a way only human things can be ruined. The reactor was shattered, and with it, all possibility for life and culture. Yet still, some of it lingers. Moss grows, objects gather. Sometimes there are whispers, tidal memories, etched into space-time by humans who spent too short of a time here. True space is more of a numb feeling. It's the cold of nothing, and it feels like nothing too. I'm not so lost in nostalgia I can't tell when I'm not alone. And I know I'm not alone, so say something. Ha! So you did come. You're always close by. And you're always hiding something. And you're always just out of reach. Even though I've seen your face, I feel like I haven't. Even though I've shot through your heart, it feels like I never touched you. Maybe you're just dense, LUNA-TERA. I felt those plenty. I should say that about you, in fact. LUNA-TERA, maybe you're the one who never came close enough to touch me. Am I just that good? Or are you holding back? You're slippery. And you've gotten better, too. What makes you say that? I don't already know where you are this time. I must have been doing pretty awful before then. No, you weren't. But it's still unbelievable that you've gotten so good in such a short amount of time. So I don't believe it. There's no hiding how much I suck, huh? No, the opposite. There's no way you weren't this good before. That's not true. You've definitely been trained, haven't you? I've never fought other pilots. Did you fight something else? That doesn't count. It was nothing but training, and then nothing. The existential threat was never real. It was a trick of the light, and our weapons pierced it with 100% accuracy every time, and no one was ever hurt, and it never became real enough to fight. That's true. It's also true that this isn't a real fight either. You were right when you called it play fighting. These machines weren't ever designed with practicality in mind. They simply aren't made with the intention to kill. I've read plenty of Dr. Nick's. I don't need the lecture. And you're not even explaining it right. They made the ship's elves with practicality in mind. They made them specifically in a shape that would not allow for death and war. Dr. Nix didn't just want an end to conflict because that's silly. You can't be human without it. Death defeats the purpose of conflict, which is how humans communicate and change. Death and war end conflict. The ship's elf signals the fundamental transformation of human conflict from suffering into love. If you know it, explain it the right way. If you knew Dr. Nix, you might have a harder time taking it seriously. I'm not part of Cradle's Graces for a reason, you know. I'm not that dumb. Not that I don't get the appeal of wanting to be that dumb. Just kidding. No, I do too. Pluto has that effect, doesn't she? Yeah, I feel dumb every time. She really makes you want to believe with her whole heart. Even if you never really quite can. And neither can she. All the way through, she just tries very hard. LUNA-TERA, why are you really here? To stop me from taking a worthless artifact? To fall into an obvious trap from one chance at stopping me once and for all? To rack up the glory and take all the errant children home for Memorial Foundation? To mess me up? Or to make out with me? Saturn feels herself growing in... Okay, yeah, that's correct. Saturn feels herself growing in LUNA-TERA's eyes, suddenly, clearly seen. Wasn't I just perfectly clear? What's the ship body for anyway? I'm here to communicate. Ah, LUNA-TERA. You're really shallow and kinda dumb. I'm honest. Finally! You're lucky that's enough. Are you ready for that, though? I don't think you're ready. Well, I think I'm ready. You want me to check? I won't give an inch. I'm not like you girls. I'm not a cosmic glow of energy in the dark. Still, I'm metal, and I'm sharp. You really think I'm not like that too? Or... Sorry. You really think I'm not like that too? But I'm already behind ya. It's a double lie because the movement is to her left, but Saturn is coming from behind. LT's instincts are too good for her to not twitch fire to her left, even as she realizes it's just bullshit. But then there's nothing. The feeling of being so close to being struck that she can't tell if she was or not. Are you really not like us girls? I'm nothing special, like I said. But you dodged it. It wasn't real. Nothing to dodge. Obviously, that's the part that's hard. I'm fighting for real, just like you wanted. You're the one who wants that. And fine, dodge this. LUNA-TERA's vision fills with pink, the neuroelectric toxin melting into her skin. It feels hallucinatory, weird, stubborn, aggressive, vulnerable, just like Saturn. In the poison electric haze, LUNA-TERA feels a little like Saturn. Ha! Gotcha. I like being wrong sometimes, you know? It's not like being Memorial Foundation's perfect ace. Doesn't seem to really suit you, if I'm being perfectly honest. Neither does playing by the rules. If ship selves don't play by the rules when you're fighting, it stops looking like fighting. Oh yeah? What does it start looking like? Holy shit, Ray! Thank you for the raid! Let me get your shout out right quick. How are you doing, Ray? How are you doing, Raiders? I hope Skyrim was fun. What does it start looking like? Also, that's not where I am. Yeah, hell yeah, yeah. Liar. Are you willing to bet on it? Yeah. Then go! Stakes of light are... Stakes of hard light are fine for flirting, but that's not what this is. The Mercurium spear, made for reconciling the Earth and the Moon, is meant to be used up close. It's the distance where skin touches skin, the obligation that humans have for other humans, hard like gravity and warm like light. If no one has been worse at wielding that duty than... Okay. If no one has been worse at wielding that duty than LUNA-TERA, she's all the more the one that should be carrying that weight. Saturn only realizes after, when the lightness and heaviness starts to lift, that it has hit her too. Wow, I didn't think it was even possible to have a gravity less suited to you, let alone for you to be so good at using it. I really hate being in charge, actually. And I'm bad at it, too. You did Wretched Depths first? What is Wretched Depths? But sometimes you're the only one left who can do it. Even if you hate it, and it's totally self-destructive. Especially then. Sometimes I think, why do we have to fight anymore? Let's just do this obscene other thing. The thing fighting could be. And then you say something like that, and I want to fight you so bad. You wouldn't get it. You're hilarious. Makes me want to see a squirm. Like, in a nice way, though? You can try. What? It's just funny. I love it when you play cool. Because you're not. Let's communicate aggressively. That's what humans do. Sure, I've already given up on that worthless reactor. They're never gonna scold me enough to make me regret this. Short PSX-style fishing horror game. Oh, I do know about that. Check it out on Steam. It's free. I might have that installed, actually. Gonna grab dinner. We'll be lurking. Hope you enjoy. Dinner and the show. It's January 30th, 1981, and the day is almost here. The deadline to save everyone who came up to space with us, fought with us, tried to bring everyone up with us. If we shut down the lunar gravity well, there won't be any choice left. The power that keeps our ship selves in check will fall apart, and we won't have anywhere else to go but home. If we kill the dream, no one will die. We really, really hope that's true. No one should die in space. No one should die, period. No one has to die because ship self-combat is shimmering missiles of light, cosmic explosions, electricity that sears through the soul. Blade science is impossible for a human to produce. Dances of combat without end. A fight against other ideas of toys. Humans would never show that sort of compassion to each other. Earth's answer is a single atomic particle fired at near light speed directly into the cockpit core, a true weapon from a military force, the quickest, most efficient, instantaneous, unavoidable way to kill a human. The most boring possible way to pointlessly die. No drama, no meaning, just nothing. LUNA-TERA, Memorial Foundation ace pilot. It's January 30th, 1981. In the end, they might get everything they want, in the way that no one wants. If we open up the lunar gravity well, we can establish forever another Earth. And maybe another. We can inhabit the whole system, but that will cut humanity into two and more. The distance will be so much further. Everything we have will be even further from them. How much are we gonna lose? How much would it be? How much will we never be able to give them? The moon is very close to being part of Earth. It's full of life, and humans can live here now. It feels impossible, and I don't want to just give it up. We should break it off forever, shouldn't we? All I want is to stitch these two humanities together, but if one of us dies as a result, I will fight forever to keep that precious thing alive. Pluto, the Princess of Cradle's Graces. It's January 30th, 1981. They don't name it because giving it names. They don't name it because naming it gives it power, but not naming it gives it more. It must be in every corner, behind every door, far, far away in the spaces between stars. It is defined and categorized in every human culture and is deliberately omitted from explicit naming conventions by Memorial Foundation in favor of a euphemism less captivating to the imagination, such as existential threat, rather than a specific word that would stimulate the imagination. But a trick like this will not work. In the euphemism is a hollow void that can hold all fears and all possibilities. Through gravity, humans decide what is real and what is not. But what is not does not stop existing, and it, like humans, can decide. It's the kiss of inverse. Everything that humans can imagine but can't become. The shortcut of attaining it is to forsake everything that humans already are. If a bunch of idiots get tricked into going there, it would make a really convenient enemy for Earth. That is their real fear. Before that happens, I'll tell you a little secret. Ready? Saturn, Celestial Mechanics Test Pilot. Day 7. Receiving report. Report data unverifiable. Awaiting manual acceptance. Report accepted. Damage to Lagrange colony indicates most likely fulfillment of duties. Incoming alert all Memorial Foundation troops. Prepare for landing on Moonbase. Alert. Cradle's Graces and Celestial Mechanics troops have seized control of the gravity well. We must prepare for the confrontation we have always feared, but there's still hope. We will bring everyone home safe. We have Earth on our side. We will be prepared. Generating new assignments. Scouting mission. Verify status of Earth-controlled autonomous military units. Assignment. Free time. Spend as you wish before the final battle. Your record is clear. Indicate that you have understood new orders. Yes. Ready for gravitational catapult? Welcome home. Gee, I wonder who has the most gravity right now. Lost Story. Ambient Tidal Forces. The author is a rivalry. I was thinking for this chance. Me too. I was waiting for this chance. Me too. Thank you for obliging. Anytime, but I'd love for this to be the last time. Oh yeah? Do you have a plan for arranging that, or are we just gonna fight forever without end? Do you win when your win ratio tips over 50%? It's climbing for sure, I can't deny it. You're slipping. Getting lazy? I'm just bored. I don't want to win an argument. I don't want to win a fight. I just wish you were dead, okay? Me too. I can't kill you. I really don't want to either. Well, same. Man, don't talk like Neath. You know that pisses me off. Then don't say their name then, maybe. Maybe they died because they were tired of us having the same fight over and over again forever. Are you kidding? They lived for it. Oh, man. What a bitch. I know, right? I really miss him. Me too. Want to fight about it? Man, geez, sure. I get it. Subject: fuck space. Origin: ambient title information. Author is a loss. You know what? Fuck space. It is complete garbage. The secret no one here ever wants to admit is that space is boring and empty and it's desolate and lifeless. It's not romantic and it doesn't care about us. They embellish dull gray photographs of dust with beautiful colors to pull our heartstrings, but the reality is nothing but different shades of gray, the palest colors. But you know what? That's not even the most embarrassing part. The most embarrassing part is that humans can't do anything better than imagine space as just like Earth, but a little different, filled with people who are like us, but a little different. Well, hey, guess what? That's just Earth, idiots. You're projecting. Why do you need space to think about Earth? Why are you ignoring all of the people and places on Earth that are like you, but a little different? Why is that dream more important than us? We're supposed to have dreams, but we're not supposed to just live in them. That's why I'm breaking up. I want to go home. I have a vague suspicion that fuck space is from Halomede's sister, whose name is implied to be Losilsi Triton. It could be. It could be. What's the screen again? Okay, and then the screen is the log of each day. Yeah, more than a few fights with that Celestial Mechanics pilot at this point. Oh, sorry. You had more than a few test fights with that... Test fights? You had more than a few fights with that Celestial Mechanics pilot at this point, haven't you? Yes, fights. Exactly. You've really met your match. In terms of troublesomeness, I think she has me beat. Do you know her, Saturn? A Generation 3 pilot? I was only in charge of combat operations, and the 3rd gen never saw combat, even against the existential threat. Of course I knew her, though. She was one of Iapetus' top candidates. She used a variety of methods to artificially jumpstart extreme tidal sensitivity and otherwise unremarkable pilot candidates. I thought none of it worked. The first ship's elves had manual controls. To bridge the gap between your intentions and the energy of the tidal reactor is a complex language, a conversation between yourself and the machine with advanced mathematics. You use your hands, but it is a fundamentally mental approach. Dr. Nix wanted to achieve communion through the soul. Iapetus, however, felt that direct interface with the body would be most efficient. Teach the body and the mind and soul would follow. Sounds dangerous and also made up. It's all made up. There's nothing inherently wrong with using the body as a primary medium. However, he inflicted the intentions of the ship's elves on the pilots rather than teaching them to express their intentions outward. He wanted subjects, not actors. It's impossible to read the rhetoric of his methodology any other way. Was Saturn particularly resistant? Is that why she was downgraded from primary candidate? No, she was intensely loyal, like another pair of hands and eyes for Iapetus. It was the opposite. She accepted all those intentions perfectly. She was perfect. You see the problem, don't you? A doll like that doesn't have the will to compete in title conflict. God, my throat is getting extremely dry today. Why are you telling me this? He realized in the end he had created something as boring as he was. It took a long time for you to learn how to be a person, after having been forced to be someone else. Don't forget how to be tender to Hellions, LUNA-TERA. Plastic versus metal, and then give me the moon. Fuck it, give me the moon. Wait, delay. It's time to move to the future, peacefully or painfully. No factions, no dreams, just two girls lost and entwined in the warm summer of the moon's day. New orders, LUNA-TERA. Get out for a while. What? Oh, really? You don't need me on standby? Yes, but you're making everyone anxious. The pacing and sighing is becoming melodramatic. Even worse, some of the girls are beginning to find it very attractive. Some of them show mercy and give... Show them some mercy and give yourself a break, please. Sorry about that. I just snapped at one of the deck mechanics. I am getting tired. I know. And it's given her a distinguishing crush on you, so please leave before more of my crew become compromised. I still don't get why that happens. Then you don't that you don't is less of a saving grace than you might think. It's good that you're not full of yourself, but you have no awareness of your own value. I'm aware. I'm not a mystery to me as someone would... It's not a mystery to me why someone would like to earn the approval of someone who treats them as if they don't deserve it. It's an intoxicating feeling. So why do they think I wouldn't want to... So why do they think I don't want that too? I am just as greedy and childish. It annoys me. I'm not an invincible monster. I need the same things. Oh, grow up. You're no different from any of the other girls. You're the only one who thinks you can actually... Wait. You're the only one who thinks you actually have to be this made-up person. Why, you think you're gonna teach Pluto to not take the burdens of those she cares about when you can't even throw off your own entirely self-inflicted ones? You know my girls aren't stupid enough to not see what a fool you are alongside your strength. You wouldn't find you so charming otherwise. Didn't you learn anything from your terrible relationship with my tragically pathetic niece? I learned not to pretend I could give someone what she wanted. Wrong. You should have learned that just because someone likes you doesn't mean they won't also show you're an idiot. No one needs you to be stronger. You need to let yourself be weaker. Do that quickly so I don't have to hear any more complaints from you or those girls. Aren't you tired of hearing them yourself? No, fight until we love each other. That's the best answer. On the far side of the moon, there's still some part of the dead, empty, cratered Luna left. As the terraforming engines sweep in, they turn Earth's satellite to another part of Earth. Until that time comes, this place is free of Earth's pull, a place still perfect for a quiet moment to happen, in an empty clearing surrounded by weight and life. It's the perfect place for them to fight like ships do. The fighting that ships do, not the fighting that people do. In the naked sunlight and nothing else, Pluto looks so beautiful, spinning tiny galaxies with chromacula. The way she always was meant to. Of all the prototypes she piloted over the years, none suited her like this. From this awkward and embarrassing creature she used to be to this woman who promised Earth there could be a new type of human. No longer the priceless tool of selfish adults, the pawn of space's dreamers, the princess who can remake her body out of the tidal forces and stardust. She's just Pluto. In the naked sunlight and nothing else, even in this worn and wounded ship, LUNA-TERA shines like she always has. Even with the hurt she has, one way or another, someday or another, every girl bleeds. And her Mercurium suffers alongside her. The drip of her wound spins like a red constellation in 0G. She's rusted, but some parts of her will never rust. The two of them have fought so much, so this shouldn't be a fight. Without nothing and no one else to think about, there's no reason to fight. In the naked sunlight, for once, don't fight. Instead of fighting like people do, fight like ships do. Fight like plastic toys do. Fight like you don't have a body, like you don't hate your body. Fight your way into a new body. Fight like we used to without trying to win. Fight like we did a long time ago when they were training us to fight. Like all we wanted to do was play. Fight like we did when we didn't have any other way of touching each other. When all we had were lasers and light, tides and time to say what we wanted to say to each other. I'm not gonna go easy. You better not. Since we're not fighting, I really don't want you to hold back. LUNA-TERA knows a thing or two about fighting in space. LUNA-TERA wrote the book. It's a kind of predictable story. So LUNA-TERA makes sure her enemies get sunk. You know this trick, don't you? You've seen LUNA-TERA pull it so many times. Fire off something to test the waters. Lead the target until they walk it right into the shot. You can play that game forever until they make the first move. Don't let them make that move until you know they want to be expecting what you do next. What you do next can be anything, as long as it's what they're not gonna see coming. After you do it, disengage, like passing a secret. You know this one really well. The message in a bottle, slipped between the bullets of hard light. She was the person who taught you how to blow a kiss, but Pluto is the one who learned how to make out. Her ship's so big it makes LUNA-TERA look like a toy, but Pluto's even bigger than that. You have to measure in density, not mass. Then you'll understand. Pluto is the center. LUNA-TERA revolves around Pluto like she always has. LUNA-TERA is too close when she tries to pull back from Pluto, and too far when she's trying to close in. She's on a leash that extends through space-time however Pluto wants. LUNA-TERA's gravity is the tug that makes the tides go in and out. Pluto's gravity is strong enough to turn LUNA-TERA into a new shape. LUNA-TERA didn't invent this, but she loves to struggle through it. She loves to see what she can do and how close she can come. And she comes in so fast, does so well, but goes too far when Pluto wasn't expecting. It's too fast. Way too fast. Pluto's more off guard than LUNA-TERA expects. LUNA-TERA's moon of a spear crescents right through Pluto's chest. LUNA-TERA wants to scream, but she doesn't say anything. It feels deep enough to be scary, and LUNA-TERA only meant to nick her. What's wrong? You were having so much fun, and you look so scared. Why didn't you block it? Luna, I'm fine. See? You can't hurt me that easy. You're not that strong. I'll always be alright. Ooh! Pluto plucks LUNA-TERA off by the forearm, gently with 2 fingers, like detaching a kitten or a bug. Sorry to scare you like that, but you lied. You said you weren't going to hold back. Pluto can seize LUNA-TERA by both wrists, and she does that, and LUNA-TERA is quite awestruck by how safe and helpless she feels. The gravity pulling at her from Pluto is gentle, but firm. Fighting ship to ship is the only time LUNA-TERA doesn't feel naked, but now she finally feels naked here too. It's not so bad, though. Sometimes you have to let an animal bite you before it can feel safe. That's the thing you said once. See? I'm learning. I've learned so much. When I said that, I was talking about Mars. And you're just like her. Are you really okay? I really didn't mean to scare you like that. But Luna T, you're always overestimating how capable you are of hurting me. It's fine. I was the one who was dumb. Thought I could scare you, and you were way too smart for it. You did that on purpose, though? You really are amazing. Scary, right? Just like you said. You could be like that too, though. There's still stuff that you could learn from me. Want to be the one to teach me, then? I'd love to. Here, I'm holding you. Can you feel this? I'm trying. You don't have to try. It shouldn't feel like you're trying. It's either easy or it's nothing. You know, it's harder for me to take it easy than try hard. That's why you're always so amazing. I'm so lazy and I never want to work ever. I'm always looking for the easiest way to do things. That's not true. It is. And why are you so good at everything? I'm not. You are. I'm not. But I can't make you see it, no matter how hard I try. I guess I should give up on trying to make you dislike me. Sorry you can't win against me. You really are such a sore winner. Now I see how Mars feels. She's right. I'm totally insufferable. I'm glad at least someone knows. Oh, please be sure. I notice too. Excuse me, of course, but you don't care. Of course I care. I love you. Can you feel it now? I really didn't think I would, but I do. Tell me what it feels like. Feels like you're holding me. That's what it's like when I hold you? I don't know. Am I imagining it? But I can't be. It still feels exactly like metal. I didn't think it would, but it also feels tender. Exactly like if you held me on Earth. That's why I'm not as strong as you. I really thought we were never going to get the chance to touch. I don't know if I could stand it. Why are you holding me so tight? I'm feeling smug. Now look, who's the one caught now? I guess I lose. You totally lose. Don't tell anyone. Are you kidding? I'm gonna brag about this for the rest of my life. Day 8. Cradle's graces have hit 100%. The existential threat. The origin, the pilot program, training documentation leaked. Author, Memorial Foundation Native Sphere Archives. It was composed of solid light and arrived in multitudes. They never arrived in the same shape, pattern, or texture twice. They were memorable but indistinct. They were like and unlike things that we have on Earth, and they could not be touched except through gravity. We could not determine where they came from, but they always headed towards Earth. We feared what would happen if they passed into Earth too much to learn what their intentions for coming were. And our pilots defeated them without fail, without any hesitation, without any resistance, flawlessly, beautifully, obviously. The truth has always been that the existential threat is much weaker than humans, no matter what we call it. And there was a refusal to name precisely at all times and substance and nature of the existential threat. First of all, by referring to it as the existential threat, Memorial Foundation international jargon, rather than by common local cultural names. From the failures of the Scout program on Earth, there was a desire to both separate the pilots as much as possible from earthly preconceptions. We did we did this to understand the new ways in which our pilots could be human. And we did this also to understand how the existential threat would change in corresponding ways, complementing their new humanity. Existential threats are always weaker than us, but all they have ways to always weaker than us, but they have ways that we do not. And they are always waiting in the corners of the world, looking to overcome us in other ways. In the case of the existential threat as it existed in space, we created a weapon, the Kryn Macula, so powerful, or powerful enough to defeat them once and for all, single-handedly, and we did so. And we lost every reason to be in space. And we ended all mystery and possibility. So it is surprising that in filling the void, it became the pilots who took the role of the existential threat. It is known to occur on rare occasions on Earth. Did you notice, LUNA-TERA? Our base is now not far from the Sea of Crises, where your ship self was made, and you first sortied. It's nostalgic, isn't it? It is, isn't it? Reminds me of when we were fighting some theoretical alien existential threat and not each other. Would you prefer those days? I don't think so. No, I definitely wouldn't. I like being less stupid. Um, Fighting with people is better than not even thinking about people at all instead of fantasies. Aren't you gonna say that's still your problem? I know when I drilled you like little soldiers, I taught you the opposite too well, but I wouldn't mind if you had second thoughts. Europa. Do you feel guilty? We should all feel guilty, but me and my peers especially. We caused this conflict to be played out, and we failed to teach you well enough to endure it. The future we had hoped you would live in was much too childish for you. I know. I'm not upset about that, or I would have never come back here, by your side again. I don't want your guilt. Or my guilt. What do you need, LUNA-TERA? I would like you to give me your orders, without guilt or regret or expectation. Of course. Though I've raised you terribly, LUNA-TERA, I have always been quite proud of you. She's always been so good it's scary. I can't deal with good kids. That was Nyx's job. True. But I don't hear a reason to trust me. Or are you just gonna ground me? You're my student, LUNA-TERA. Oh fuck! Hey Rail, how you doing? Thank you for the resub. Balls. And now I'm thinking of fucking Benoit again. Fuck yeah. I don't have to trust you. Trusting you is not my concern. I can't keep you out of trouble anymore, or even tell you what to do. I can only advise my last remaining student. Whether you listen to me or not, or to that girl or not, whether you fulfill your duty to Memorial Foundation or betray us once more. You're getting too permissive in your old age. I've always been permissive, and I've always been old. I thought you said I was in charge. I will advise you no matter what decision you make, LUNA-TERA. And not quietly. Then that's your advice, since I'm just gonna do it. Don't get out of dealing with your ex by indulging your death wish. She's not my ex. Were you not together? Or is it not over? My advice is not to leave things ambiguous this time. Earth has promised to let the children of space sort themselves out, for now, but their machines of war guard their way back home, just in case. When Saturn and LUNA-TERA meet in a chance encounter, the true terror of humanity stares them down. I'm gonna let the music play out while I down this thing of water. I feel like I am losing my voice a little. Losing my voice, but we are so incredibly close to the ending that I can't just, like, section it off here, so I just kind of gotta soldier through it. The fleets are already in motion. Are you ready? No problem. I'm only worried about that trickster from Celestial Mechanics. No end to trouble. You don't sound too unhappy about that. I suppose that trouble will end soon, one way or another. It's simply recon this time, but it's on the rear side of the moon. And Earth military is there with autonomous devices. They're in very high orbit. They will descend rapidly if they notice gravitational variability. The ship's elf is a shape intended for humans to exist in space outside of Earth's pole. It isn't intended for war. The military is here with that most directive intentions, so don't let them achieve it. Funny that the planetary sphere doesn't seem to think we're on the same side. There's nothing funny about it. We're not on the same side. We are complicating the problem. We can't let it go as much as Krail's Graces or Celestial Mechanics can't. Earth has graciously allowed us considerable leeway in dealing with the closing of the space program on our teams. Broken and naive as they find us, Memorial Foundations International begged them to let us try to bring the wayward children back home bloodlessly. We should be thankful that they are just watching and not descending to rout us. Most of Earth would find any loss of human life to space unacceptable, but less and less of Earth considers us fully human. So the mission isn't just to protect any stragglers from getting themselves killed by the forces we're trying to save them from. You don't think we can trust them. If I trusted them to handle it, I would not have led you, the children of space, to fight this conflict. Do you think we can do it? Bring everyone back to Earth? There's a reason I am not having you interfere with the opening of the gravity well. Everyone would be in one place at least. What Celestial Mechanics and Cradle's Graces hope will be their salvation could be ours too. We're on a tight deadline for something that might be that impossible. Win what's in front of you and worry about that later. Risk dying, tearing that machine to pieces. Fuck it. It's something we haven't done. There's a million routes I haven't done. Whoa. Seems almost like I can't be a... Whoa, it seems like it can't be a coincidence almost, bumping into you again. Fancy seeing you here. A likely story, but please stay down. It's closing in. That thing wants to murder us very badly. It wants to kill. Yup. Aren't you itching to fight it? The autonomous military unit is waiting for opportunities, it seems, but it's really just reacting to conditions and responding with protocol. It's inevitability, gravity, law. Humans can be pretty unambiguous, which is why if you want something done precisely, you must teach it only a sliver of what humans know. If you want someone dead without complication, you need to remove nuance first. It doesn't have any kind of morality system or decision-making process. It's very non-discriminatory. Just gravity and nothing else. It is a gun and not much else. So maybe you should stop harassing it so much. It's annoying, though. I want to bully it. I was promised that I wouldn't tangle with something if it was really life or death. But now that I'm here, I'm too tempted. I just absolutely want to tear it to pieces. Completely destroy it like it wants to destroy me. You ever feel like that? Even when you're terrified? Especially then, but it's not worth fighting. Not at all, even a little. It's like fighting gravity or a whole planet. What can you call winning against something like that? There are a million more. You can't have a real argument with something like that. They send autonomous troops because they don't want to have one in the first place. It just goes to show they really don't care what happens to space or anyone in it. Or they do, and they want this badly to believe they don't. You're really gonna hate this, but it makes me wish I could crush him even more. Sorry. There has to be a way, right? Unlike a ship's elf, the autonomous military unit doesn't have a shape that remotely resembles a person. There's no need for that, obviously. You would give something a human shape only if you wanted to be able to express the fullness of being a human. War has never been fought like that. Military technology is designed to narrow available resources in order to efficiently execute a single specific function. Giant robots have never been practical for war. What is necessary is a single vector pointed in a certain inflexible fixed direction. The autonomous military unit might not look human, but it is human. A single uncomplicated human thought. Die. I'm worried that telling you this will just encourage you, so I shouldn't. Feels like a bad idea. But they're not invincible or almighty against us. Even if they're incredibly, overwhelmingly powerful, especially here in the liminal zones of the moon, but not ever. Not anywhere. It's nice to hear even you get mad about it. I understand the math. We're risking our lives and our personhood, and they're not. It's very one-sided. Humans are cowards. That makes me want to fight even more. I'm saying it's not worth it. The statement will be lost on Earth. They've got an endless number of drones. But you can destroy them, right? I'm not asking if there's a point. I don't care about that. I'm asking if we can. Let me know how you did it, right? Because you have. You really don't know, Saturn. You just don't. And you never will. You can wish and fight, but Earth will never let us go. 9.8 millisecond, or meters per second squared is what we are bound to. Your weight and mine are nothing compared to that speed. We can't even scratch the surface, but you are right. It was stupid, but when I was with Cradle's Graces, I destroyed one. Pluto made me promise never to risk my life over something like that again. That's a huge brag, but given all that, kind of a crazy thing to do. Why? Not that I think that doesn't rule. I'm was feeling the same way you were feeling. Pure spite. I'm not quite as bad anymore. At least I'm trying not to be. I know that feeling. It's easy to bet your life when you don't care whether you lose it or not. If we fight together, we'll be betting on each other. It doubles the risks, and there's still no point. Is there really no point to it, though? Useless, okay, that's true, but not pointless. You're so clever, LUNA-TERA, but you have outsmarted yourself. And now you're believing that there is no meaning in fighting against the blind and unstoppable force. I definitely know what battles I want to fight. The senseless eye of the autonomous weapon fixates on their location, but the string of pearls doesn't give it much time to get inquisitive. Saturn's closing the distance, cheating distances. It reflexively attempts to close the distance too, but its calculations seem to be consistently, constantly, just off. Saturn, come back! What did I say? You were listening to yourself? Were you listening to yourself? Aren't we doing this? Are you gonna prove my point or what? It's no big deal for you, right? You've done it before, right? It'll be twice as easy now. So don't make me fight it alone. That'll be fucked up. It'll be heroic if it's the two of us. So come on, enable me. Don't you want me to not end up like you? Don't you want to not end up like you? The autonomous military unit is extremely simple. It fires a simple burst of metal directly at a cockpit. Particle unaffected by gravity, instantly lethal. It takes all the drama and expression out of fighting. The ultimate anticlimax. That's why true combat is ugly, arbitrary, horrifying, a struggle for power in absolute terms. Not a romance like fighting in a perfect body can be. It's only because you did something so stupid that I'm joining you. A blue, elusive streak, unmistakable but impossible to pin down, follows Saturn. Liar! Fake! Hypocrite! You never smiled as much before you are right now. Against a single autonomous unit, not dying starts out hard and keeps getting harder. Saturn can cheat the distance. It's the reason she isn't instantly dead. Their targeting is flawless and predictive, based on clear intentions made in space, time, culture by gravity. But Saturn just cheats every time. She changes the math, and every time it adjusts to correct, and keeps getting smarter and harder. Still, Saturn does the math better than it can. LUNA-TERA will die if she thinks to herself what's happening for even a single second, so she doesn't. She verbs instead. Do this, do that, make it real, make it happen, don't think or blink. Simply and possibly always be doing, always be being, don't get hit and never die. Nothing like life or death to remind you that being alive is great. And that state that you can become infinitely capable of fighting tooth and nail no matter what. When Mercuricium's hard light slugs hit the unit's chassis, it miscalculates, dips in motion, but it's undeterred. It can ensure much more than that. LUNA-TERA respects that and fires 12 dozen more, as point blank as possible, no time for mercy, so increase the output more than should be possible. Defensive insulation keeps it protected from the string of pearls as electrotoxins. All the string of pearls can leave is a series of bleeding, oozing, hot pink pinpricks. Nothing but scratches until there are so many of them that they aren't just scratches anymore. There's no limit to how mean she can get. Something else fighting like this. I wasn't ready. You're doing amazing. You're unreal. You have to be, otherwise you're dead. So don't let up, don't stop, keep going. It's the only way. Every approach and hit counts. You gotta be perfect. The autonomous military unit fires it. Whoops. The autonomous military unit is fast. Faster than either of them. But isn't faster than coincidence. It's not fast enough to predict someone who's not even thinking. It's not faster than cheating. Saturn works her whole hand into its guts and comes out with a fistful. It has dozens of redundant components designed to withstand real trauma, or unreal trauma, and continue fighting. But there's a slight delay as the failsafes switch circuits. That moment is time enough for LUNA-TERA to plunge her iridescent blade into flailing sensors that burn into white light. Even torn in half, ripped apart both ways. Okay, that's just weird grammar. Even torn in half, ripped apart both ways, apart by a division of light and dark, undone, the autonomous unit still moves. The only way they will win is to be completely thorough. Pull the guts out every which way, never show mercy, never let go, until they've bathed in it head to toe. At the end, they don't even realize when the moment came that they were still alive and that they had won. Are you finally satisfied? God, it was worse than I remembered. No idea how I did it alone. I feel incredible, beyond satisfied. If I didn't feel almost dead, I'd be begging you to do that all over again. I knew it'd just encourage you. Shows the good it did. Don't you want to not end up like he was such an armor-piercing line? Absolutely, and LUNA-TERA has good armor setup. You know, LUNA-TERA, I'm fighting. No matter what, no matter who wins. I know the best I can hope for is half of what I want. But I'm not here for a realistic outcome, even if it's all we get. I'm just gonna fight, forever, with perfect greed until I get everything. I don't know if I can be that cool. When it comes down to it, I won't stop either. So, I am gonna be right back. I desperately really have to use the bathroom. We're gonna take a quick 5, because I think this will also be our epilogue. I think this will be our ending sequence. So, should be right into that. I'll see y'all in like 3 to 5. All right, mic check, 1 2 1 2, mic check, 1 2 1 2. I am back. You want things long distance? You want to break up? You want to fight? A messy fight and get back together? You can't have it both ways. How selfish can you be? Humanity breaks up or humanity gets back together. Which is this? You still want to be friends? It's never going to happen. You want us to be different and together? No, there are some lines you can't cross. Change too much and you won't be human. Change too much and you won't understand or recognize each other. We don't have hearts strong enough. Luna, you know I wish we did. But I know they don't. If you come crawling back, they'll accept you. If you leave, they'll let you. But they'll kill you if you try to change them. Thanks, babe, but I'm still an idiot. With Cradle's Grace's fleet, the Cradle's Grace's fleet is small and weak, and they're desperate with the dreams of space dying. And there's no time left. No chances left. The decision has already been made. Humans don't need space. It's just it's one thing to go home, another to leave forever. Both of those are just up both of those are just up to those of us in space. Neither of those require the strength to pull humanity from its cradle. That's a strength that no one has, and no one should even pretend that they have the strength for it. With all of Cradle's Grace's hopes and dreams, Pluto will still try. The pilots bow out as the conclusion of the conflict becomes evident. No, it is now truly a war, because the autonomous military units have been arrayed against her for her transgression. This is no longer a fight between the humans of space, but a war with the Earth. The autonomous units ready their weapons and in unison fire to kill. As if. Their trajectories bend away from Pluto, pushing at the sight of her. They refuse to meet her gaze as expected. Macula will convert the gravity well directly into the space and time and culture necessity for the future, and they will steal that future from her piece by piece by piece. This is unexpected, but not unprepared for. So, Wave 2. Wave 3. 4. 10. 36. 150. 460. 1,000. 4,569. They know she's not invincible. They know her real truth, that no one who loves her can see. They have the patience and power to take it apart piece by piece. They will strip her down atom by atom if they have to until she loses mass and becomes only a girl again. Pluto wouldn't mind if they were trying to kill her, but they have a much more important thing to kill. Cradle's Grace's future. The future of humanity as we know it depends on it. For that, they'll annihilate hers without hate, with only human efficiency and uncomplicated thoughts in mind. Join us or leave us. Only through an autonomous proxy can Earth give up an inextinguishable empathy for the human soul. Only through a proxy can Earth divorce itself from the longing that Memorial Foundation had fought on behalf of, to value their own life above all else. They'll do anything, everything, to protect themselves from death, especially at their own hands. For ship elves can only change others and never kill. But that is the fear of Earth above all else. The flawed, pathetic conscience of humanity, playing catch-up to its own mistakes, doing more harm than good. So heavy even Pluto can't bear it. How can she not respond to their pathetic, self-descriptive, self-destructive feelings? How can she say no when they need her so much? She can't. Acceleration tearing through space-time, crashing through autonomous units at impossible speeds. Solid light, white and gold, bent and bleeding lance. LUNA-TERA understands. Over many years, after much training and teaching with dynamic technology, how to speak the word no. And her spear can write it. And it does. Sorry. You really should be. You really don't have any mercy. You really need to learn how to hold other people's feelings. I'm sorry for not knowing a better way to do it, but I'm sorry for doing it. I don't care how they feel. I just care about you. The autonomous units fall into disarray. They don't know how to match her speed. LUNA-TERA rejects their attempts to comprehend her. You're the worst! What am I gonna do with you? I didn't even want you to do that. Sorry, I did what I wanted to. You do the same for me, even in my foolish future. If they can pull on her empathy for Earth, they can also tug her desire to be free. And celestial mechanics has so many ways. This one is called the aversion impulse. Iapetus despises fighting. He never wanted to develop the ship's elves. He would prefer a simpler and less vulgar solution that didn't require bodies at all of any kind. He's the first betrayer of celestial mechanics' dream for a new kind of body. But he understood it, because everyone can understand the dream to leave these bodies. And that was the name he gave to the instinct that drives humans to abandon what is and what could be, the inside-out impulse. There is still time for his masterwork. Pluto can be the linchpin if she's pushed far enough, and the gravity well's Schwarzschild radius expands to the point at which she cannot escape. Past the limit at which point humans can no longer exchange information. Past the limit by which it becomes impossible to regard each other as human. Iapetus loves win-win scenarios. Humanity's discarded children will be free of their obligations to be human. Humanity will have a physical, unified enemy to chase through their pursuit of space, and Iapetus will have sown the seeds of a single, binding, unified culture theory. A white void that will bend the universe to a single set of physical laws. A simple process of autonomous drones injecting degenerate mass into the gravity well is all that is necessary, as long as Iapetus holds Pluto off personally in his LUNA-TERA. I don't actually... That could have been Roncevaux. Either or. He even has a plan for Saturn should she choose just this moment to betray him. A perfect plan. Like deactivating my access permissions remotely through a backdoor? Overwhelming me with the mass production String of Pearls series. Averting my gravity reactor through the LUNA-TERA's albedo separation system. Oh, and even more plans than that? You're really so predictable. Alert. Attempting backdoor access to ship's elf String of Pearls. Of course you have a solution for every contingency. Error. Unable to find String of Pearls series double op. Backdoor switch activated on mass production. String of Pearls series 01-13. This is so stupid. I don't have to outsmart every single one of your genuine ideas. Sortie orders are fielded for String of Pearls series 01-13. LUNA-TERA is designed as their primary target. Just one of them should be more than enough, but I really thought you deserved their full attention. Hey Pluto, unlike LT, I'm not even the slightest bit sorry. It is extremely dumb to fight for a stupid future all by yourself. So thank me from the bottom of your heart for coming in to believe in it with ya. Praise me for obeying what you never asked me to do. Love me for believing in you. Of course, I really, really do. All my love and thanks and praise is for you. 13 autonomous copies of String of Pearls beating the shit out of Iapetus. Yeah. This is kind of Ava, just in a very different lean. I won't even pretend to be mad at you. Not like LUNA-TERA then? I am still connected. We know. We know. Back to the topic at hand. It's the final battle, LUNA-TERA. There's no room to retreat. Oh no, so bad for her. We really should. You think the end of the world is enough of an excuse to change the subject? It should be? It won't be the end of the world. The gravity well is open, but it's not sustainable for long. Whatever you're planning, you need to do it soon. You're both so precious to me. And you should know that even together, you cannot stop me. Hey, don't just fucking dot. I thought you were gonna convince her. I have to do this, because I believe in it too. But Dr. Nix was willing to sacrifice the Earth, and I'm not. No matter what it costs. Cradle's Graces never wanted independence for space. They wanted all humans to embrace it. The solution is to destabilize the Earth's gravitational field until human life is no longer possible there and force adaptation to space. Saving humanity against their own will, maybe, and destroying yourself in the process. No way! Nix doesn't know what she's talking about. You're throwing yourself away on a dream that won't come true. And you were chiding me for not going in on my own future. The possibility lines have closed. There was no chance of a good future since before we started. It's too sad. That's why I have to stand with Dr. Nix's dream. Humans deserve some kind of real hope. And this is as close as it is to what I can offer her. Well, how mad will you be at us if we stop ya? I'll never be mad at you, even if I could. But for humans to get caught halfway between space and the Earth is the worst of all bad futures. It will split us in half, and that will mean war. It is the future of eternal war. Of true war. Not this, where zero-G keeps our bodies immortal and unrestricted. I mean, if we really did declare independence from Earth, wouldn't they see how cool we were and come up anyway? It's their choice, you know? You can't make it for them. That's their problem. You two really put up a fight. For a moment I almost believed you. I really thought you might be able to stop me. Mercurcium's spine is broken. The string of pearls is subdivided into so many components its reassembly time is weeks out. Can't blame us for trying. I wouldn't have been able to do anything else. I really hate this. It's time to... The interfacer is... broken? Thank God, I thought you missed. You didn't make the shot easy. I can't control the lunar gravity event anymore. I don't know what's gonna happen. What can I do? Sorry, we didn't think that far ahead. We wanted to just let you decide. Not Dr. Nix. If you can't have everything, what is the thing you really want? I don't know what kind of future we're gonna get. It's not working with much. Anything you do is fine, if it's you. Don't listen to her. Just figure out something that doesn't suck. The three compress, redivide, expand. The simplest, childish thought grasps Pluto, bubbles up within her, and she says it before she can stop herself. I want us to be together forever. In our beautiful shapes in space. Free. With everyone. Of course it isn't possible. Not enough people believe in it. Earth is the primary body of this system, and the medium point between our gravity and its gravity is still deep within the Earth. Yet they cannot pull us down anymore. That will never happen. We are still in space, and the future is uncertain. If we can even sustain it, but I declare war on the Earth. Come get us again. Come find us again. I dare you. I challenge you to prove it once again. What foolishness. Humanity will happily oblige, yet they find that their autonomous troops are crushed before they can reach us. Humanity will have to fight us again, on our terms this time. Fight us like children fight, again, with bodies of plastic, pretend. If you want to fight us, you'll have to be like us. I meant it when I said I wish Pluto was right. But I also meant it when I fought otherwise. Who doesn't want the perfect future? Happiness for all, and no one left behind. But there is a secret. We don't need a true ending. We can make a true ending out of any ending. We can make it without the true end. We can make it out of the best ending, or the second best ending, or a bad ending. Some of these might be bad endings, but we're gonna keep going. Beyond the part where there's an ending. until it's something else. The art style shifted, the teary-eyed Pluto, it's hitting. This shit hurts. It's really good, but this shit hurts. There might still be more today. Let's bet against that. I'm tired. They'll catch us off guard. So stay in your ship self. You wanna laze around while you're still in your ship? Why not? Does it feel as nice? It's different, but it's better. And you can't feel anything? You've still got a lot to learn, Ace. Maybe I do. Let Pluto teach you. I'm taking a nap. Nah, you're helping. I'm tired. Shut up. So she says, but when she stretches out on the yellow-red carpet of Venus's jungles, she doesn't go so instantly to sleep. There's room for both of them on Pluto's lap, which is an advantage of living in your ship self. You can do things that normally couldn't, even if other things are harder. Harder doesn't mean impossible, it just means you have to work for it, to figure out what makes it real, learning a new language that your new body speaks. Moments like these are rare, since we began a war against Earth, though we're quick to remind each other that it's not really a war the way war used to be. Not the hard clash of steel and lead, but the pliant pleasure of plastic and light. Venus's heart melts their metal before they can make it here. When Earth wants to fight, they have to send softer bodies after us. The punishment we deserved for being unable to reconcile in this half-real solar system. The forests are still struggling on Mars, but we're not trying hard, and the jungles of Venus are growing so nicely, except they're too wild to give us room. The silicate mosses that grow along the rings of Saturn allow for a very fragile, delicate sort of life. We love all these places anyways. They're becoming more and more like home. All we need are more of us. And they come, descending in waves, trying to take us back. We beat them back every time, and sometimes one or two look around and decide, I'd rather stay here. And there's more of us. Sometimes they succeed and take one of us back home. That's just as fine with us. We should go there. We should go where we wish, live as we wish. And if our sisters get taken home, they bring a small part of us back to the Earth. That can't go unchanged. Like Pluto always said, the future no one wanted is the only future that leads somewhere. A future she couldn't hold, but still can't hold. But she doesn't need to. We're holding it with her. We are holding it together. All together we can hold this future. Earth isn't ready to accept us, and we're not ready to forgive Earth. That's okay. We don't have to be. Let's just fight about it. Let's fuck over it. Let's break up and get back together again over it. If we lose, we lose on the terms we set, and that proves our point, so haha, we win. If you hate that logic and think it's stupid, come over here and mess me up about it. Come over here and make out with me about it. That is also a really good fucking ending. And y'all can't even hear the credits music. But that's not a big deal. We ended the run. So yeah, that was the LUNA-TERA run of Heaven Will Be Mine. On Sunday at 6 p.m. EST, unless I need to delay for whatever reason. LUNA-TERA's lines about true endings were especially appropriate following We Know the Devil's true end. Absolutely. Absolutely. I can definitely see why it's important to play We Know the Devil first. Like, just straight up. But I'm gonna be real. I'm tired. I'm very, very tired. So you know what? That's my personal favorite Heaven Will Be Mine ending. It's really good, but I really, really like the Memorial Foundation ending too. That's a lot of reading. Yeah, my throat is fucked. I am so glad that I scheduled not to stream tomorrow. But yeah, I'll see y'all Sunday. And then the week after that, I'll figure it out. I'll see how busy I am. We are going to raid out to Vivi Mancy. So, if you stuck around for all that and enjoyed it, genuinely, thanks a lot. I appreciate it. If you would like to support the channel more directly, there are links below wherever you're watching. Things like the stream elements tip link, the community Discord server, and the throne wish list, as well as the merch store. Reminder that we are having a sale until the 17th. $13 t-shirts, and if it's not, it's 40% off of literally anything else. Um, Vivi is currently playing Awaria, which I am not familiar with. But I hope you treat her kindly and enjoy what she has to show. Have a good